at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere on your phone or tablet by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, tell Alexa or Google to play Sports 56. If it's happening in the world of sports, we've got it covered. Wherever you are, stay tuned to real sports talk. Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7. We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. It's time for Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. The first hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin and Brett Stotts Norsworthy.
'Tis the season to be merry. 'Tis the season to be thankful.
For sure.
'Tis the season for the coaching carousel. So this afternoon, one gone, one back in.
College?
Yeah. Well, no, not the one in college back in. Yes.
Back in.
Which, good luck to that. That's Greg Schiano, if you haven't heard. He and Rutgers, after breaking their discussions apart.
Had a stalemate, didn't they?
They did.
A different Rutgers than the first time he was there.
Well, yeah, now it's in the Big Ten.
That's it.
Exactly.
Road trips to Columbus.
I am, because of what happened.
What was the NFL?
And the stuff that I know with Tampa and the Buccaneers.
Because you have inside info.
I just don't. You know what? He did do a good job the first time around at Rutgers, which is why they won him back. Mm-hmm. You know, certainly the Volunteer fans didn't think he was good enough. Because he was on their list for a while.
I think it has worked out for Tennessee.
Maybe so.
I'm very bullish. And full disclosure, I love Jeremy Pruitt as a guy. And is good to my family, so I'm pulling for him. But I think it's going to work out for Tennessee. He's got to get a quarterback. And Garantano, as the year went on, tough as nails, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Coached hard.
I was hard on.
You have been?
On Jeremy Pruitt.
Fair.
And
fair. Very fair.
And so in being fair, you have to say the guy won 5 of his last 6 or 6 of his last 7?
He did after losing to Bama. Really got on a hot streak. Now, that it wasn't any notable wins in there. It was against and the SEC had some.
I got news for you. He'd been losing to Vanderbilt, or Tennessee had been losing to Vanderbilt.
That's right.
Tennessee had been losing to Kentucky. They won games that they had to win.
More of a next
and Missouri. Which, in the long run, that might have cost Barry Odom his job.
More of a next week thing, but we'll do our grades for end of the year. It's more next week. We're really busy this week after last week and all that good stuff. We'll do our grades next week. We'll do kind of best wins of the year, worst loss of the year. We'll do it for everybody. But I'll just tell you, this year in the SEC, I thought it. A lot of people thought it really, really top heavy. I thought the middle was lean. The bottom, really bad. I mean, there were. I mean,
you got to put Tennessee in the middle now. They're not in the back end.
They are.
I mean, I think we know. I think we can tell you what their worst loss was.
Down the stretch, they beat South Carolina, UAB, Kentucky, Mizzou, and Vandy.
Missouri started off fantastic.
Yeah, but how'd they finish?
Horrible. Okay. Like I said,
we're judging the whole thing.
They've lost to Kentucky in the past years.
We're judging.
They've been losing to Vandy.
Now.
The fact is,
no question.
He turned it around, and
I'm here to praise Jeremy Pruitt.
That was after just a horrendous start.
But I'm here to be critical.
You know what?
The league.
I think fans quit on him. I think media were very skeptical, like me, of him, and I think he proved himself at the end of this year that the players still believed in him. Otherwise, they wouldn't have finished the way they did.
He's tough, and that defense
he deserves a lot of credit for that.
But Kentucky won with a wide receiver at quarterback. Now he was great. Any other year, Lynn Bowden would have been MVP of the SEC, but for Joe Burrow. I mean, it was a Hines Ward year of a wide receiver playing quarterback. Lynn Bowden was great.
That story's amazing.
Eddie Grant's great story. I mean, everybody in Western civilization knew what offense they were going to run.
Did with
a high school offense,
basically.
SYS.
We're
Saturday
taking our best athlete. All that we got left, we're going to put him at quarterback, and he's going to run.
Yeah, and run he did, and he kept on running.
I mean,
leading receiver, leading rusher, and the quarterback was not the leading passer on the team.
Isn't that amazing? No, it is.
All right, Dave, you tell me, since you were instrumental in helping me with maybe, well, being associated with Ole Miss is the honor of my sports life. Second biggest honor of my sports life, finally being tapped as a Heisman voter. Would I embarrass you if I voted Lynn Bowden fourth?
No. But I don't think that should go. I think that should go to the Kentucky offensive staff.
Well,
I swear to you.
You can't do that.
But it's the truth. To rework that offensive line and the whole scheme.
But I don't want somebody to see this ballot and go, man, who got this clown on here? That Wolo guy in Memphis did.
Yeah, you'll cost me my vote. Don't do it. Especially, you're going to go. Are you going, Kenny Gainwell? You going to put him on that list?
We'll only get 4, right?
I can't remember. It's either 3, 4, or 5.
If I get 5, Kenny Gainwell is going to be 5.
I wish it was like the Wooden, where you get 10.
Yeah.
And then you vote them. They get points per.
I can't give away the vote because it's embargoed. But I have 2 from Ohio State in prime pecking order.
They cancel. It's interesting because there's 3 in my mind.
There's 3.
Everybody
There's 3.
talks about Chase Young and Justin Fields.
Don't forget
I'm
Dobbins.
going to tell you right now, because I watched almost that entire game. I was enthralled with what Ohio State was able to do after really a good Michigan start. That's, by the way, the dumbest Michigan team I've ever seen. I was texting with a hardcore Michigan fan that's been around forever
We've
watching
got them
Michigan teams.
in town.
And
yeah, we've got them.
And I just said, after the 4th or 5th moment of total lack of discipline, this is the dumbest Michigan team I've ever seen. But Dobbins was the reason that they won that football game. Justin Fields was good.
Some of that was it directed at some of the judgment plays that Shea Patterson was making?
There was some, but it was just the undisciplined totality of the team.
Jim Harbaugh is a good coach, and he's done a good job. He has just not done what he was hired to do.
Well,
you had him in the playoffs.
I'm wondering
if
he doesn't get too uptight for that game.
He runs
because
hardwired.
He is an eccentric, high-passion guy, and I wonder if he doesn't overwork himself for this game.
But I think Ohio State simply has better material.
I think they do too. I mean that's part of the gap.
Yeah,
that the gap. The question that was asked where he blew his mind.
But
they don't have.
I think
they don't have a Dobbins, a Fields, or a Chase Young.
I think the Ohio State first 30 players are better than anybody else's
in the country.
I think their top 30 versus LSU or Clemson's top 30. I would, if you just, out at a workout, give me that 30. That 30 that's Ohio State. I'd take that.
I do think if we look on all sides of the ball, offense, defense, special, that and what was it, the term that Barrett Jones used yesterday, the most complete team. I think that is fair. And that's the problem with LSU, and this is why somebody texted us and said, well, how can LSU not be the number 1 team? And the question is, do they have a good enough defense to win a national title? And I think we're going to find out. We'll get the answer to that. But that's why, at this point, Ohio State is on the smell test. They get the number 1 by the College Football Playoff Committee because they are the most complete team.
I think down the stretch of the year, some of the LSU defensive woes was lack of interest, like at Oxford. But in the beginning of the year, they gave up 38 to what ended up being a very ho-hum, so-so Texas. They gave up 38 and they didn't have a running back.
Right.
They got Ellinger.
Oh no, they were down to, what was it? Their 5th or 6th string running back.
Way down.
They had
there.
no running back.
I mean, Texas just wasn't any good this year.
No, they weren't. And I don't know if that's Tom Herman or
LSU gave up 28 to Florida, and I'm not scared of the Florida offense.
I don't. I think that's why you.
What was the change in the NFL
placement
today? I'm missing it.
Ron Rivera.
Riverboat Ron.
So listen to this. A Super Bowl.
I was there.
4 or 5 division titles. 76, 63, and 1.
New owner in Charlotte, in Carolina.
That's got to be the reason why, because I don't think he deserved to be out. Now, I'll say this. He's going to coach again. Where did he play?
No.
Where did he play pro football?
He played college at Cal.
Where did he play pro football? That was the question.
He's going to try to act like he's a Bear fan. This is it's
Bear
really
down.
It's really sad.
Oh, Chicago Bears make every play.
This is how we started the year before we turned on him. Didn't we? Had the
Ron
music.
Rivera.
We did. We had
I
him
would welcome him
singing.
back in the fold.
Dave crushed it that day.
Get
with the
rid of this guy, this genius.
Dave, you almost
Bring in the
can carry it,
defensive
too.
guy. Almost.
You really can. I'm
Almost.
impressed because I can't even lip sync.
Do you think he deserved to be ousted, especially not letting him finish the year?
This is an odd time to do it, but look, there's no such thing as an odd time anymore in sports.
Come on home, Ron Rivera. Now you got to talk McCaskey. You got to talk the Grand Dame into getting rid of Nagy and bringing you back.
All right, Dave, think about it. So you bring in Riverboat Ron, free agent Cam Newton.
Maybe.
I think there's some football. If there's some football left.
Let me
in
tell you
Cam
something. That Bear defense, which was so good last year, would get right back to being great with this guy. And then you got to hire.
He was a good Bear.
You got to hire another
He was.
offensive guy that would be able to maximize what Trubisky can do.
You know,
I think Trubisky deserves one more.
He got a little lost with that galaxy of stars.
Well, the Bears' offensive line, by the way,
Wilbur Marshall.
Yeah, but the Bears' offensive line, that's part of the problems for Nagy and for Trubisky. It really is. I mean, when you can't run at all, and this kid, David Montgomery's a good running back.
Better all-time Bear, Riverboat Ron or Arkansas State's own Jerry Muckensturm? Jerry Muckensturm was good.
Yeah, he wasn't Ron Rivera. My
You
goodness.
don't remember Jerry Muckensturm.
What year?
Late 70s? All-time leading tackler at ASU.
Those years, those were the Steamboat years.
Well, boy, Drew. I mean, if we hit it all, we've hit the Wolo bingo card today, haven't we?
We really have. I mean,
at 3:13, we hit the Wolo bingo card. We're not going to have him but till 5. I mean, what a win for us today.
you can go ahead and go. I've already hit bingo.
Is that it? It's
Yeah.
done?
And we don't say bingo, we say Wolo when we hit it with the Wolo card.
Oh, my goodness. So, it's crazy world when Schiano gets 8 years, $32 million. $32 million, 8 years. Now, this is interesting, by the way. His
To
deal.
go 2-10 next year.
Did you hear what his? So they basically parted ways for a week.
You know, it's my least favorite term now in sports. He was fired. There's no parting ways. Like if you get a divorce, she didn't part ways.
No.
She divorced you.
This last week, the negotiations between Greg Schiano and Rutgers.
No, the negotiations broke off.
They broke off. They parted their ways for a week. Okay? Part of the reason why, or the main points of dissension, was an out clause in deadlines for new facilities. That was Schiano's insistence that if we're going to be in the Big Ten, we have got to upgrade our facilities.
He's right.
Now, as a person who has seen those facilities firsthand, for the 1 year we were in the Big East with them.
In Piscataway, you saw?
Yes, I was there.
They make your eyes bleed?
Well, first of all, their basketball arena is in a big field house. While we're playing basketball, the baseball team is behind the stands, like underneath the stands, and you can hear them hitting baseballs off a pitching machine while the basketball game's going on. Okay? When we took a tour of the football
Ain't
stadium,
SEC.
we took a tour of the football stadium. Do you remember how old the Crump Stadium was?
Mm-hmm.
It looked like
Oh, no.
old,
Oh, no.
bigger Crump Stadium. I mean, it's old. It's terrible. They really need to redo it. And so he was putting in deadlines that if they didn't meet them, he had an out clause in his contract. They struck that away, but they do have deadlines in there. And I guess the way this new thing is, the school has agreed that they will match whatever the AD and Schiano can raise. They've got to come up with 50% of the money raised for these new facilities. I've never heard of that deal.
Well,
that would be like, okay, you can pay me, Brett, $1 million a year.
Cash or check?
However you choose.
Make it light on yourself.
You're going through a bank. I feel good about it.
All right.
But in order for this show to work, I've got to sell at least 50% of the show.
That's it.
That's
kind of what we're doing already. I'm kidding.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's. I've never seen. It.
You know who loves Greg Schiano? And we're tying it back to the Bears. Loves him. It was position player for him.
Who?
John Mangum.
Really? John Mangum was a good player.
Was a good player.
Was a really good player.
John Mangum was pushing Schiano. And during one of the Bama openings, and all those openings, early part of the 21st century, John Mangum was pushing hard for a young Greg Schiano, and I told him, I said, I think they're aiming for a bigger name than that.
John, in defense of Schiano, he failed as a head coach in the National Football League. There have been plenty of guys that have done that and still been very good college coaches. He did a good job the first time around. He was good enough that Tennessee wanted to hire him. He was good enough as a defensive mind to be working for Urban Meyer at Ohio State. So he's a good football coach, apparently. And
Dave, how come some of these places? And I know it's. I want to be realistic. I know it's not Ole Miss. It's probably not Missouri, but why not? And I know it's fool's gold. It's kind of the John Gruden snipe hunt of coaching searches. But Arkansas could afford it. I wonder why Arkansas didn't. And they may have back channel. Arkansas could afford the 10-year, $10 million a year, $100 million offer for Urban.
They could.
Arkansas could.
But what is Urban's connection to Arkansas?
Doesn't have to be one. What was Nick Saban's LSU?
So is that Urban's price? Do you think $100 million is Urban's price?
No, I think you probably get him cheaper than that. But why not go out there and we're not taking no for an answer.
Here's my answer to you. When you're Urban Meyer, seriously, what do you think he's making from Fox? A couple million a year?
I wouldn't even begin to guess.
I don't know. I don't know, but I'm guessing that it's somewhere in that ballpark. Where
he's their star.
Where he's now, yeah. They said to him, "Come with us, because we'll make you a star. You'll do whatever you want to. Go to any game you want to. We'll take the cameras with you there. You don't have to win or lose, and all you have to do is be yourself. And you're prepping anyway, because that's what you love to do. So,
loves a grind.
I unless he just totally misses having a team, I don't know if now." He thinks I can only make my legacy even better because if I go to Notre Dame or if I go to USC
or FSU,
I'll throw that up in there because he was already in the state of Florida. He might have liked it. His wife might love it there. So maybe we'll throw that one in there. I think that job may already be taken, but who knows?
By someone of local nature?
I'm just guessing like you are.
Yeah.
But there's no connection with him.
None.
And
none.
But he is the one guy, and I'm not sure there's anybody else except Nick Saban, that you would say, I'll invest 10 years and $100 million because there's no way they'll fail.
All right, let's do the quick math on if. And it's not going to happen. I know it's crazy talk, but let's be a little crazy for a second. Let's say Ole Miss said, all right, well, they can't because that darn 4-year state deal, the state of Mississippi deal.
Right.
But if they waive that through some miracle of craziness.
They could pass that as the Urban Meyer law.
Yeah, let's say they did. All right, 10 years, $10 million, $100 million. Last year, Ole Miss sold about 25,000 season tickets. It would double.
Wow.
So 25,000 new tickets at $1,200 a ticket in donation, et cetera. That's $30 million right there. Well, you paid for 3 years with that. That's for next year.
True. Well, it's just like people saying that Nick Saban was making when he was making $7 million a year. What? That's too much money. That's crazy. They'll never make it up. Yeah.
They got
all you got to do is look at what their admissions,
the new dorms,
the number of people trying to get into that school, how it raised up the standards so there's a better student. And by the way, there's a direct correlation with the better the students, the better the educational experience the culture of that whole thing,
and they write
the
a bigger
more
check.
money they give you.
That's it. That's exactly it.
So, yeah, there is no question this era of Nick Saban's at Alabama has elevated this school in so many different ways, just beyond being a football deal.
This hour of our show brought to you by Lexus of Memphis, 2600 Ridgeway, and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Give them a call at 362-8833. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas from everyone at Lexus of Memphis, where they're offering the the December to Remember sales event. Great offers on all the 2020 models and special lease options. Drive in luxury and confidence, knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services during that December to Remember sales event. Stop by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of an all-new 2020 flagship LS500, and you'll be looking and driving great to start 2020. Lexus of Memphis, the highest standards in the industry, online at lexusofmemphis.com, 362-8833. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, it's the coaching carousel continuing. I don't think during the press conference today that Mike Norvell had after practice he had to address it today. I think he was pretty clear about it yesterday. His focus is on this game. But we did see Ron Rivera get fired in Charlotte, in Carolina, in the NFL, and Greg Schiano got his deal done, and he's probably the right guy. If there's ever going to be a move made for Rutgers, he's probably it. But
he's the hope.
My money is not on that being a success, to be honest.
No, my top story, Saturday at the Liberty Bowl, I think everybody's in agreement that it's the biggest game in Tigers football history with all that's involved. And we've said that a lot lately, and it's been that case. I heard Steve Macy today with Greg and Eli talking about it. Cotton Bowl, conference championship, more national attention, or a loss Saturday. And it's going to be a real downer going out there to whatever bowl they fall to, unless they fell to the local bowl, to the Autos and Liberty Bowl. But that still will be a downer compared to the Cotton Bowl and that money. But here's where I'm going to double down, Dave. And you were here for what I think is the biggest game that's ever been played at the Liberty Bowl. Saturday is the second biggest game ever to be played at Liberty Bowl Stadium. The first one was Bears' last game. I don't know how that ever gets topped with the status he had in the sport. Saturday is the second biggest event ever at the Liberty Bowl Stadium. Well,
that is a fair assessment if you're looking at the sport as a whole, because at the time, the greatest coach in the history of that sport absolutely graced the sideline for his last time. But in the scheme of the University of Memphis,
biggest ever,
and just for this city's sports scene, the biggest football game ever because of what is on the line.
And I think people should go for that reason. Maybe non-Tiger fans, just football fans. Yeah. You ought to want to go Saturday.
Well, the scariest thing for me on that is this has happened 4 times now. This will be the 4th. And in those first 3, the team that won the first game lost the second. Only one sweep in the series, and that worries me a little. My not top story of the day?
Not top story of the day.
I thought things were going well for Patrick Ewing. I thought he was really starting to get a team to gel and that he was going to be pretty good, and the ball went smashing down today. Georgetown basketball players Josh LeBlanc and Gordon Alexander accused of burglary and then harassment of the people that they burglarized.
And Georgetown moved quickly.
They did get rid of. Well, there's another that there's 3 players that are involved, and a 4th one, by the way, that was dismissed. Their 3rd one's a freshman named Myron Gardner, who was accused of sexual harassment. Georgetown yesterday said LeBlanc and their point guard James Ankcho had left the team. They didn't say why, but they said they'd left the team. So there's 4 players involved. 2 are still around. And we've got charges pending in Ankcho, who left. We don't know why he left because they haven't been forthcoming in all of that. Just basically to say what looked like a very good, promising year for Georgetown and Patrick Ewing is going down in flames.
My not top story, Louisville, number 1 yesterday in the college basketball AP ranking. So exactly how much really did running a prostitution ring out of the basketball dorm affect Louisville? They're back to number 1 in short order. It was a brief scandal. The Memphis Tigers will have more lingering national damage and question over $11,000
As a high school coach to a player.
With those provisos, then a prostitution ring.
To me, still the most unbelievable thing. And you're right. Louisville has come back.
They're fine.
But the guy that was in charge at that time,
not fine.
He's not fine. He's out of the game. He's out of the game. The AD's out of the game. They're all gone.
But U of L, the brand's fine.
Yeah.
To me, that happen to anybody else.
You can talk about that. To me, the most egregious of all is academic fraud. Every year since I was a kid, that was drummed into me. You can do this, and it's bad, but the worst thing is when you
close cars, cash.
We're institutions of greater learning, and you can't. You can't teach. You can't do fraud on the academic side. And North Carolina got away with that. That to me
unscathed
is absolutely incredible. We'll be busy today. In just a minute, Gabe Kuhn's going to join us. We'll talk with Brent Beard in Jacksonville, Florida. He must have the latest on where Florida State may be going with their head coaching position. Jeff Moore on the National Football League at 4:30. Steve Earhart from the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. We get him a little early today at 4:45 at 5 o'clock. The man from the Shield, Bo Marchant, collegetopro.com, will come in. We'll talk a little more NFL football with him. A little early today, 5:15 crunch time, because coming up at around 5:30, it'll be Ole Miss on radio. David Kellum on the call against
Butler.
Team Butler.
Right,
of course. While that's going on, a little bit later in the evening, the Tigers will
ranked Tigers
will take on a Bradley team that was picked second, by the way.
Old Missouri Valley matchup.
Missouri Valley Conference.
Old Valley matchup.
So, real quick question for you. Last time Bradley won a game in Memphis, how much was gas?
79 cents.
Drew, you weren't born yet. It was 1970.
1970, 35 cents.
37 cents.
I was going to guess 50. I don't know.
37 cents. How much was an 8-track player? That was the thing everybody listened to their music.
What's an? Oh, okay. So it's a music player. That's what an 8-track is.
What's an 8-track player? You're not going to do this to us, are you?
I mean, I knew what an 8-track player was. I just wanted to make y'all feel.
Come on in, Sonny. Let me tell you about an 8-track.
So, how much do you think an 8-track cost?
You know what the cart machine used to look like? That's what 8-tracks look like.
Yeah.
8-track. I had 8 tracks in those days. I'm going to say 75 cents.
No. The player.
The player.
Not the disc. Or not the cassette.
$45.
Close. $38.99.
Oh, man, I had one.
$38.99. I'll bet you wooed many a romantic
well, of course I
entity
did,
in those days.
And here's what everybody was doing about that 37-cent gas. Complaining about how expensive gas was.
You know what? Because it had just gone up. I remember it was like 25 cents forever. Forever.
No matter the price, we've always said, can you believe gas is fill in the blank? Whether it's $1, $1.80, $2.50.
I'd like to complain about it at 37 cents again. That's all I'm saying.
I think we got a deal of deals for so long on it that now we're just catching up a little bit.
I agree with that. I just hope it stays where it is right here. 215, 220, 225.
Take it in that 2 and some change range. No complaints.
We got to take a break. Back in a minute. This is Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
Sports 56 now has 2 FM homes. You can now find real sports talk on 96.1 as well as 87.7 on your FM dial.
Napa know-how.
Right now, a 5-quart jug of Napa Full Synthetic Motor Oil and a Platinum filter is just $23.98. That's a great deal for a great oil, which is another reason why this is the most wonderful time of the year. That's Napa Full Synthetic Oil and a Platinum filter for $23.98. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
General States pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. While supplies last. Offer ends 12/15/19.
The Vault on G.E. Patterson in South Main downtown has all your game day needs with 30 TVs. If your game is not on one of the 20 big screens, then sit in a booth with your own remote. The Vault has game day specials on pitchers, buckets of beer, and great food, which is the best thing about the Vault. This is not your normal sports bar. Chef Dirk Meitzler from On Tour and Cafe 61 has all his favorites like Chicken Newport and his new lobster enchilada. Open for lunch and dinner every day with lunch specials for $12 weekdays with a drink. The Vault on G.E. Patterson in South Main, your downtown place to eat, drink, and watch the game.
It may not be stomach issues.
For me, it's intense gas.
or pain, or diarrhea, sometimes all at once, over and over.
I spent years with the symptoms, but could never figure it out.
No matter what I did, they never went away. So I decided to break it down for my doctor and get really specific about my symptoms.
We discovered that exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, may be the reason for my stomach issues.
EPI is caused by my pancreas. It leads to diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools. The symptoms just don't go away.
But EPI can show up with even one symptom.
The good news? EPI is manageable.
But to get to the right diagnosis, you have to break it down for your doctor and get specific about the severity of your symptoms.
Visit identifyepi.com to learn more and use the symptom checker to help change the conversation with your doctor. Brought to you by AbbVie.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans, America's largest mortgage lender. Let's talk credit card debt for a minute. If you feel you're carrying too much of it, you're not alone. The average household in the U.S. carries over $8,000 in credit card debt. Ready for some good news? With a cash-out refinance from Quicken Loans, you can quickly and easily put some of the equity in your home to good use by paying off a lot of that high-interest credit card debt. A great way to take cash out is with our 30-year fixed-rate mortgage. The rate today on our 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.99%, APR 4.18%. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN to learn how taking cash out with a 30-year fixed mortgage might be the right solution for you. And for a record 9 years in a row, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Rates subject to change. Pay 1.375% fee to receive this discounted rate. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
I want to invite you to come by the Spirit Shop. You know, that little log cabin on Poplar? Your liquor and wine oasis. The Spirit Shop has been providing sports fans their beverage needs since way back in 1969. So come in now and get ready for the big game. Whether your favorite team wins or loses, the Spirit Shop will help you celebrate or ease that pain away. The Spirit Shop is open every day, and they're located perfectly at 4848 Poplar. That's the corner of Poplar and St. Nick.
Can't you give me 5 more minutes?
Country music star Scotty McCreery will be at this year's AutoZone Liberty Bowl, and you want to be there too.
This is it. This is now.
The American Idol winner will perform at the President's Gala on December 30th at the Peabody and at halftime of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game on December 31st. Get your tickets today by calling 795-7700. The Tennessee Highway Safety Office reminds you that fans don't let fans drive drunk.
Now, back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Wolochin and Brett Norsworthy.
Did you have this 8-track? I was just going to ask you. I think I was cassette by this.
It was definitely cassette. There was no 8-track.
Tom Petty burst on the scene late 70s, 78, 79, 80. That stretch.
Yeah. I think one of the first 8-tracks I had might have been the very first Crosby, Stills, Nash before Young was even on.
First
So
8-track I had
was
Rolling Stones.
Ah.
And they were always
pink,
hot pink.
Yeah.
Gabe,
Yeah, I know all about that.
Gabe, what was your first 8-track?
Yeah, what about you, Drew?
Oh, man, it's way too many to remember.
Yeah.
Couldn't remember exactly what the first one was.
Well, at least we can remember. That's a good sign.
It gets a little foggy.
Hopefully,
you
you boys will be able to say the same thing years from now. In the meantime, that voice you just heard is Gabe Kuhn. We talk Tigers in this segment, and I will let you know Gabe is a very, very popular young man.
He is.
Because he is brought to you by a host of people who love him, which is ATC Fitness, and you could see why he's fit. Tactical Investments. Apparently, he's taken a bunch of that money that his grandfather made from his inventions and has turned it into a fortune. Wolf Chase Nissan, Wolf Chase Honda, Stereo One. I wonder if they still make 8-tracks. And Pops Comfort Kitchen.
I threw the invention thing out at Greg yesterday, and Greg, he loved it. He had never heard it.
Oh, yeah.
So if people don't know, now we have to explain.
Yeah, now we have to address this.
Your grandfather in St. Louis invented
The Easy Bake Oven.
The Easy Bake Oven, but there was one other.
Stretch Armstrong.
Stretch Armstrong. I don't know. But the Easy Bake Oven was the bigger money maker, wasn't it?
Yeah. I'm sure it was. I mean, I don't know all the monetary, dealings, but I know going out to California to visit him.
Baby.
I know going out to California and visiting him used to be the highlight of the year.
Is he still with us?
No, he is not. He is not. Okay. He passed a while back.
And which side of the family was that on?
Father's. My dad's side.
Your dad's dad.
Yes.
Wow.
Sure was.
That is so cool. It's like this is way off the subject. But does your dad have sisters?
Yeah, one.
So that must have been so cool. Like, dad comes home and it says to his daughter, "Hey, come here. I built this toy for you."
Yeah.
And then it becomes this, incredible Easy Bake Oven, ladies and gentlemen. That's neat. That really is neat.
It really is.
A great story.
What a story.
All right. The big story this weekend is round 2.
Biggest ever.
Yeah. I think they got it, man. When you look at it, when you look at what they did in that first game, I don't think they were clicking on all cylinders. I really don't. And they still managed to win by 10. Obviously, I think the Scotty Dill personal foul at the end of the game kept them in position to sort of win comfortably. It was closer than I thought it would be. But there are a lot of things when I look back at that game that were positive, in my opinion, like the fact that they sort of played at Cincinnati's pace and sort of out-Cincinnati'd Cincinnati in a way, and the fact that...
Well, defensively, you're right.
They were able to score their sort of baseline of points at 34 points and win the game by 10 still. I mean, it wasn't as pretty as I thought it would be, but I think they kept some tricks in the bag for the second time around.
You think he really was holding back?
No, I don't think he was. I don't think he was necessarily.
Because I've heard complaints and read message boards and social media.
Stay on the message board. Where you get what you get for going to the message boards.
They're talking about how he wasn't aggressive enough. He was too conservative in his game plan.
A double reverse pass.
Exactly.
He wasn't aggressive enough. But I just think they have so much more offensively to offer than they showed in the first game. I mean, I think Cincinnati's defense did a good job of switching up looks. I think they did, a decent job of trying to hold them down. But, end of the day, I think, the second time they're going to go play the Cincinnati defense, they're going to have beats on them that they didn't have in the first game.
My question for you would be, if you were Luke Fickell, and you got this quarterback that, by the way, your team really likes.
Yep, Desmond
Ritter. But your freshman, Ben Bryant, I think played pretty good. I think that was a wrinkle Memphis wasn't expecting, and it worked.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it'll work again, but if that kid's shoulder, Ritter's shoulder, is healthy, who would you start?
Ritter. If his shoulder is healthy, 100% Ritter, because the only reason the back half of the season that he struggled so badly is because of that injury. I think he brings legs to the table. I think as far as, Ben Bryant threw the ball well at times. I thought he was slow, a really slow starter. He did not start the game throwing very well. I think Desmond Ritter's right on pace with him when he's healthy. But that's the question. Is he healthy enough to at least push the ball downfield and get those receivers involved? Because when you look at how that team played down the stretch of this season, it was Michael Warren. I mean, they would hand the ball. They're not scared to hand him the ball off 25 times a game and let him control the clock.
Too.
Let him control the clock. That's what they've been trying to do.
But don't we know kind of opening bid baseline is going to be around 30 to 35 points?
Yep.
So Cincinnati, they have to get above that, can they?
Well, first off, why do you guys keep saying baseline's 34 points? They average 41 a game.
Well, we know, but we know they scored 34 against Cincinnati.
Like we said though, it was a very slow game for them offensively. They still scored 34.
Cincinnati's got to come in here, and I think they have to be thinking,
to roll.
We got to score 38 to 40 minimum to win a game. Can they? With any quarterback? I don't think.
I don't think so either. The only way they win this game is if they hold that Memphis offense down below 28 points.
Well,
because I can't see them scoring.
But hold on. Hold on one second. If I'm Luke Fickell, I'm going, wait a second. They scored 34. They weren't really that well in sync. And, oh, by the way, one of those touchdowns came on a kick return. It wasn't their offense.
To open the game, but
Great call, by the way. I heard that on the way there.
Thank you.
Great call.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And that's the way you start a game.
He's got the kickoff calls down from the last few
Oh,
years.
I mean,
just 11 of them under Norvell.
got some practice.
How does that happen? Seriously. And I don't want to take anything away from Pete Lembo because he's been terrific.
But it's been
and we've had 4 guys this year under Lembo who have returned kicks for touchdowns. But this is the 11th time in the Norvell era, and it's at least the second, or is it the third special teams?
Ever since Mike Norvell has got here, that's when it switched. With Fuente, we didn't return anything.
No.
I mean, you got athletes.
Well,
you have guys that buy into your system.
That was who was the guy that Shebest was the
James Shebest. He was
Shebest
Shebest and Lorig and now Limbo. They all have been really
James
good
Virginia
at
Tech.
They have all been really good at their job.
Mm-hmm.
Here is the thing. I know most of these ideas and the scouting is coming from Mike, because Mike will tell us in these meetings on special teams. And I think Lembo is terrific, and he's a great educator. And when they come up with something, he's a great teacher of it on the field. But Mike is going to say to us on Thursday, here's something watch for, because it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And he'll tell us if there's a punt return, a kick return, a block opportunity. And I am telling you.
Will he tell you reverse?
Oh, yeah. He'll tell us a couple of plays that he thinks he's seen on tape that will work, either side of the ball, and special teams.
I can't tell you.
And 85 or 90% of the time he says that to us, something around that happens.
I think it's hilarious sometimes, you know, playing for him, going through his pre-practice, pre-game stuff, and, you know, dealing with his game plans and walkthroughs and everything. He would come out and he'd say, this play is going to be a touchdown. It will be a touchdown. And lo and behold, it was a touchdown in the game. He knows what's going to work against that team. And that just goes to show you, though, how much emphasis he puts on those little things.
I'd love to hear the headset of him during the day, especially on offense. If he would say, this one's getting ready to score.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And like those RPOs, he knows exactly how to get that offense get that defense to bite, and he'll throw right behind it, and he knows it's going to be a touchdown.
Y'all know a big sequence when the history of this season's written for the University of Memphis Tigers football season. I don't know what they would have done if they'd gotten the ball back, but I'm going to say about 6.5 minutes to play. Opening day, the Tigers get the ball. Ole Miss on defense. Ole Miss, I won't say the momentum had swung, but feeling friskier. All 3 timeouts in the pocket for Ole Miss. Never touched the football again. The Tigers ran the clock out.
Yep.
That was big.
Yep. And that's
I was
that's
hoping
what Patrick
for that
Taylor
last
did.
week.
Yeah, that was
a whole lot of Pat Taylor.
Luckily, Scotty Dill drew that personal foul.
Yeah,
right there. That was huge to that game.
Oh, that was.
And I know Luke Fickle's got to be sick about that one.
And Scott Dill's smart enough
the ball back.
not to hit the second guy.
Don't be the retaliator.
When will people learn this? You saw it at the Egg Bowl. You saw an Alabama player take the bait. Please do not retaliate.
Just don't throw punches on the field. It's not that hard.
It's not.
It hurts. It actively hurts your team.
Now, what is Mike Norvell's August strategy, maybe a mandate on camp fights? I think that's where it starts. You know, Saban and Belichick are 2 famous coaches for we don't have camp fights. We don't have those Donnie Brooks. What's Mike Norvell's?
Oh, gosh.
Does he allow them?
And this is actually pretty interesting because Fuente allowed it for the most part until it really got in the way of things.
Did he encourage it?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Until it really got in the way of things, then he would make us run, roll. Norvell is a absolute zero tolerance fighting at practice guy, and it makes sense. And obviously, you know, there's gonna be little tiny scuffles that break out every once in a while, but the full-on, full-fledged team brawls, they don't happen on Mike Norvell's
and
watch.
They're dumb.
They are.
They
are
accomplish
stupid.
nothing.
They're stupid. They're really stupid. And you have to coach yourself and practice to have self-control in those situations. And I think what you're talking about with Saban and Belichick, it makes sense. It translates to the field, and that's what Norvell does.
And Mike Norvell.
It obviously paid off on Saturday. All right. How do they overcome the loss of T.J. Carter?
To be honest, They don't. They just have to have the next man up mentality. I think they've done a good job of that this season. But TJ Carter, I mean, you can't put a price on what he means to that defense. You know, he brings a lot of experience to that secondary. But the hope is that, you know, Chris Claybrooks can get in there and sort of not have them skip a beat. I mean, you are going to miss him
too.
Truth
transfer.
Truth of the matter is you're going to miss him. You really are. But you just have to embrace that next man up culture mentality, and I think they'll be able to do that.
Going to be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. But of course, this is Talking Tigers, brought to you by ATC Fitness, Tactical Investments, Wolf Chase Nissan, as well as Wolf Chase Honda, Stereo One, and Pop's Comfort Kitchen.
Mr. Kuhn, you going to sleep Friday night?
Maybe a couple hours. I'll try to get a couple hours in.
2:30 kickoff.
It's gonna be a fun one. I'm excited. I want to see that Liberty Bowl fill up.
I think it's gonna be. I talked to somebody yesterday they said they had to wait for an hour to get their tickets.
For a championship game, this is a very fair price.
Look,
very fair price.
And a great weather forecast.
Absolutely.
And just in case anybody is upset with the price, I don't know if Steve Macy brought this up, but it's not the U of M that calls the price on this.
Conference.
This is the American Athletic Conference. They own this game. Thank you, Gabe Kuhn. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
We take a break. When we come back, we put a bow on hour number 1 of this, the Tuesday edition of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy get you through the midday with Sports 56 Middays. Delivered by FedEx. Weekdays from 10 till 1 on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Hey folks, I'm Jarrett Carter. My family recently purchased East Memphis Ace Hardware at Quince and White Station, and we're excited to offer the best selection of Big Green Egg and Traeger grills. And then don't forget about our Benjamin Moore Paint Studio and the Garden Center for fall flowers. Save 60% with our new Duracell key fob replacement program. We have a master locksmith service as well as glass cutting and screen repair. We're located at Quince and White Station behind Three Little Pigs. Look forward to seeing everyone over the holidays.
Mid-South Power Distributors is your source for all things diesel. Their newly renovated drive-in repair shop is open to the public. Whether it'll be your everyday driver, farm equipment, fleet vehicle, or heavy-duty truck, their ASE-certified technicians will get you back on the road. The on-site dyno is ready to run all the necessary diagnostic testing. From preventative maintenance to complete overhauls, Mid-South Power can handle it all. Stop in today at 3288 Mill Branch Road or call 901-396-0710 and online at mid-southpower.com.
Your nationally ranked Memphis Tigers are playing host to Cincinnati in the American Athletic Conference Football Championship game on Saturday at 2:30 p.m. This is the third straight championship game appearance for the Tigers, but this time it's at home. Tickets start at just $20 and are available now at GoTigersGo.com or by calling 901-678-2331. Memphis versus Cincinnati on Saturday, December 7th at Liberty Bowl Memorial Stadium. Be there and help the Tigers win the AAC Championship and a trip to the Cotton Bowl. Stripe up.
Hi, folks. Rob Walker, General Manager, Infinity of Memphis, your source of calm and logic in an otherwise hectic and chaotic holiday season. In that regard, I'm here to tell you that we won't be participating in Black Friday. We've all been led to believe that Black Friday is the day for very special deals. If you get out of bed at some ridiculous hour, stand in line in the cold, and risk life and limb in what usually ends up in a stampede. Getting a special deal on a new vehicle should never be that difficult. In fact, it should be easy, simple, and fun. And that's what we do Monday through Saturday, 52 weeks a year. I say, bah humbug to Black Friday. It's too complicated and restrictive. The Infinity Limited Engagement Winter Event with the most attractive offers of the year on the entire line of Infinity Luxury Performance Vehicles is on through January 2nd. Come see us at your convenience.
Find out more about this and all other offers online at infinityofmemphis.com.
You've heard of James Gaddis Jewelers, but have you heard what they've done lately? Everything, a tremendous selection of diamonds and jewels and gold and silver and more. Lots of watches, tons of custom-made jewelry, diamonds, fine gemstones, bracelets, necklaces, so many choices. Romantics will love the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. James Gaddis has experts in wedding and engagement rings, plus 2 repair experts for fine watches and jewelry. Layaway and financing available. James Gaddis, local and family-owned. Whatever your dream, make it come true at James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar.
Now, back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
We like to party.
Welcome back in. Well, this first hour's disappeared. And I got good news for you guys. You know how Family Leisure always comes up with new concepts, new ideas? Always. Well, if you need a Christmas gift for your friend, your family, I got a way to do it because you come out ahead. Here's what I'm talking about. You buy your Christmas gift at Family Leisure. You buy an item for someone special. You get the second one for yourself at half off. Now, it doesn't have to be for you, but it could be. Pool tables as low as $14.99. Hot tubs as low as $1,400. Arcades as low as $9.99. Massage chairs still as low as $6.99. Man, we're going from man cave to even better with this half off on your second item. And there is so much to choose from now through Christmas Eve. Get your Christmas shopping done at Family Leisure. That's Whitten Road and I-40, where family, where fun, and the holidays are all coming together.
Dave, I was bigger on the Tyus Jones acquisition than you last night as the point guard. 2 points in 31 minutes.
Well, I felt good about that. So I'm not going to let me off the hook. I still think Tyus Jones was good the game before.
He was.
My question again goes, you got 4 guys out. I mean, is this, what do they call this, load management? Or is this real injury? Have we got a problem with Valanciunas?
Thin crowd last night. Announced it just under 12,000. That's being charitable.
Well, the story was described by our friend Don Wade as a flat, non-electric crowd.
Monday night after the holiday, the Ron Tillery list of excuses for why not to go to a Grizzlies game. They're legion.
We can always make a million.
Weather too nice.
Yeah,
too nice to go do anything. Want to do something else?
LeBron was on TV last night.
And it's all, I tell you, this is one of the tough things for the Grizzlies. There's always seemingly, there's a game next week. Well, it is until April.
Yeah. Or 2.
I'll go next
week. Or maybe
week.
3.
It's the holidays.
If you tank 2 years in a row and you're worried about load management, I guess that's the crowd you should expect. Now, in 2 years, when this team gets another draft choice, John Morant, Clark, Jaren Jackson becomes Jaren Jackson. He had 31 last night. I guess we should pat him on the back for that, really.
Sure could.
Then if they start to win and they're a playoff entity, they're going to have crowds.
I think
this town
concerning.
will back this team if they win, if they try. When you're going to keep benching guys for load management, when you sit a rookie the second week, come on.
6 or 7 games in. More concerning for the NBA is this from Sports Business Journal. The NBA's TV scorecard so far this year in ratings. TNT down 23%. ESPN down 20%. Regional sports nets down 13%.
What did an old coach used to say that would bring about change? Do you remember? You know who I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
John Calipari. He always said, the only way to really bring about change is crisis.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason they're talking about an in-season tournament. There's a reason that they're going to drop down to 72 regular season games. And that it's simple, or 78 games, whatever they're going to drop down to. There's a reason. And that is because we're finding out now. The numbers are down dramatically.
It's always there.
And, a lot of places do not publicize what their season ticket numbers are. Memphis' college basketball team forever will tell you what their season ticket numbers are.
Proudly.
Since the very first year, that first regime with Dolich, Andy Dolich and Mike Golub, thank you. There's never been a number given since then. Never. And there's a reason. If they had good numbers, they would tell you.
You'd shout it from the rooftops.
But I do believe that as soon as they start winning and we have a new era that's going to go to the playoffs, they're going to have great crowds again.
Now, very reasonably priced ticket.
If they play the guys.
Product, but in this year, there's going to be some down nights, especially on a Monday night after a holiday, and the weather's crummy.
Watch, Brandon
Ron
Clark.
Tiller excuses for why not to go. He's
Brandon Clark will come back, and then 3 games after he's come back, wait, we got to load management. That's why they got a short
Willie
season.
Fritz in talks with Arkansas and Missouri.
Wow. Willie Fritz should go somewhere. Willie Fritz is a good coach.
He sure can coach.
He flat out can. He's done it at every different level, and he's won big at every different level. That'll be a tough loss for Tulane.
59. That's not too old, is it?
59?
Yeah.
Are you seriously asking me that question?
I am. I'm 57.
I don't think. Do you think you're well past your prime?
It's getting in the rearview mirror, yeah. Yeah.
Well, you're too old, but he's not. We take the break on that note. This is Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. When was the last time you had your heating system tuned up? Did you know your heating system can lose up to 5% efficiency every year it skips a tune-up? Why compromise your family's comfort? Good news, it's heating system tune-up time at Conway Services. Schedule your heating system tune-up today for just $57. Not only will you save big, but we'll also include a Google Home Mini absolutely free while supplies last. That's right, get Conway Services 16-point Energy Saver Super Tune-up on your heating system for only $57 and get a Google Home Mini absolutely free. The experts at Conway Services will make sure your heating system is ready for those cold winter nights, all for only $57, and we'll include a Google Home Mini absolutely free. Why trust your comfort to anyone else? Stay warm and stay connected. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company at 384-3511. That's 384-3511.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
Who wants to go see some lights?
Funny thing about the holidays is nothing flies by faster.
Hey guys, want to build a snowman? Yay! Ready to open presents? Yay! Excited for New Year's? Woo! Who's ready to go back to school?
Well, actually, the Lexus December to Remember sales event also goes by fast. That's because for a very limited time, you'll find some of our best offers on our most popular models. But don't wait. Offers end January 2nd. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Lexus of Memphis.
This is the time of year when people come in from out of town and you want to impress them, and there's simply no better way to impress out-of-towners than 117 Prime in the heart of beautiful downtown Memphis. If your family or friends are visiting Memphis for the first time or for the first time in a long time, take them to the finest dining destination in downtown Memphis, 117 Prime. They'll be amazed by the best steaks in town and the best atmosphere anywhere in the city. 117 Prime is built to impress your visitors. 117 Prime is simply built to impress.
Hi, fellas. Bill Russell at Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers. Have you started thinking about what to get your favorite lady this year for Christmas? Whatever you get her should carry a message, and that message needs to say how much she means to you. For 35 years, Mid-South men have been giving our jewelry-filled boxes which hold magnificent rings, spectacular precious gemstone bracelets and necklaces, high-fashion earrings and pendants created in 14-karat gold or sterling silver. She will get the message. When you give her a gift from Russell Brothers Jewelers, she will know you care about her enough to give her the finest there is. Beauty, quality, value, and service all go into our gift wrap boxes at Russell Brothers, along with the most exquisite jewelry anywhere. I invite you to come and enjoy the holiday atmosphere at Russell Brothers. Come see the wide selection of exquisite jewelry. Let us help you find the gift that tells her just how much you care about her. Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, 4646 Poplar at Perkins.
When you're in need of quality jeans, shirts, and boots, think Frontier Western Store in Olive Branch. Frontier has thousands of square feet of merchandising at everyday low prices. Tons of jeans by Carhartt, Wrangler, and Ariat. Whether you're after classic denim jeans, dungarees, or work pants, you'll find them among Frontier's amazing selection of stylish modern fits. Flame retardant jeans and shirts now available as well. Colder weather is on the way, and Frontier is prepared with overalls, coats, and fleece jackets. Women's Sherpa jackets by Simply Southern starting just $29.99. Don't forget the boots. Frontier boasts dozens and dozens of styles of boots, work, dress, or play. Come try on the latest boot trends as well as proven classics, Ariat, Durango, Dan Post, and many, many more. You are guaranteed to find your next favorite pair at Frontier. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, or shop online 24/7 at frontierwesternstore.com.
Family owned and operated since 1967.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also keep up to date with everything going on by keeping up with Sports 56 on social media. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch for information on breaking news, chances to win prizes, and video of all the shows. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Stay in touch with Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 on social media. We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Welcome back in. Basketball coming up on this radio station. Ole Miss at Butler.
5:30.
Pre-game starts at 5:30. The Tigers and the Bradley Braves at FedEx Forum. That's late night, 8 o'clock. We will see you there. In the meantime, I've been looking forward to this. We go to Jacksonville, Florida. Our friend Brent Beard is standing by. And Brent,
who's going to be the next FSU coach?
Who is the FSU guy? And we're big boys now if you tell us who we think you're going to tell us it is.
Well, I mean, I've heard pretty much everything today. Guys, obviously Matt Campbell. I mean, a lot of people that we talked to thought it might be him. So he decided he's going to stick at Iowa State for at least a little bit longer. Yes, your guy has certainly been mentioned as one of them.
Who do you think is the leading candidate?
Yes. Well, the word now is that they're going to wait and make a decision later on the weekend instead of making one. I mean, listen, we got text and pictures from people painting the field and sprucing up the normal place where they make coaching announcements, thinking something was coming across. And I do wonder if maybe it had been Campbell, and after they changed their mind. But look, I'm speculating like everybody else is at this point. But the latest we've heard is it won't happen until this weekend, which lets you probably speculate that it would be somebody involved in the championship games over the weekend. I mean, Lane Kiffin's been mentioned a little bit. With this, he interviewed with the Arkansas situation, and he would like to obviously get out of FAU and try something different. So, and look, the Bob, like a bad toothache, the Bob Stoops rumors won't go away either.
Do you think Florida State is still maybe trying to land the big names, take a swing at the Bob Stoops, maybe even Urban Meyer, something
James
like that?
Franklin,
James Franklin.
Brett, someone like that, I think is, yes, frankly, I think that's kind of what they were looking at. But, I mean, do they you've still got some, from what we understand, the athletic department is kind of, I'm not going to say it's an utter chaos. I'm just going to say, from what we hear, it's not what it ought to be, and it's going to take a while for that to happen. And again, you've got John Thrasher, who's the president, who is from the same county I'm living in, is retiring next year. Colburn, the AD, we think is going to be doing the same thing. So your reality is whoever they bring in after they make those changes is, we all three have seen this, you'll have people in charge that didn't hire you. So that is necessarily good or bad. That's just the way that it is.
Well, if you get a long enough guarantee, it won't matter.
No, it really won't, will it? Now, I tell you one thing I am happy to hear, and I'm curious if y'all know him well, is Willie Fritz at Tulane has been now linked to Missouri and Arkansas. And I tell you guys, I've been impressed with the job that he's done with Tulane and frankly, he's well thought of.
Yep.
In some coaching circles.
Exactly.
So,
I have
the
never.
carousel is very interesting right now.
I've never talked to a coach that didn't think that Willie Fritz knew what he was doing. That they respect
Everybody,
him.
He is.
I'm going to say to you, and look, I wouldn't blame him if they went for James Franklin. I think that'd be a good hire. I'm a James Franklin guy, but if James Franklin was the guy, he'd be hired now. I think Florida State would have hired him already.
I think so too, Dave.
Because of that early signing period, you got to get a jump, especially if you're going to try to bring some guys with you that you might have been taken to another school. Mm-hmm. And so
Penn State recruits Florida.
I think for sure that if James Franklin was the guy, because he's not waiting on anything but a bowl game, that if James Franklin was the guy, he would have been hired by now. So you've got to.
Could he be waiting on lockdown, cemented, not in pencil but in ink, a decision with Southern Cal?
Could be.
Could be.
I don't know what. I'm with you. I don't know what else that you might be waiting on right now, unless he knows, his agent knows something down the pipeline that might happen in the next week or so.
Brent, let's go really crazy talking. I'm not making a prediction. I don't think it would happen, but whenever it happens, how someday, and we sure hope with good health, we hope it's not a tragic situation. Someday, when will be the right time, and how will he announce at Alabama, I'm stepping away? But because Coach Bryant did it at the end of the year before the bowl game. There's really no good time. At any time, he kind of undercuts somebody or something. If he did it today, it undercuts this early signing period. That makes for a great bowl story, and some bowl would love it. If he does it, if he calls his shot in June that this year is going to be it, well, then the whole next year, that's all his play. It puts a lot of pressure on his players. How does he do it someday?
Yeah, and believe me, we've all thought about that in the media. I think in Coach Bryant's situation, I think there are two things there. I think Coach Bryant knew that he was probably sicker than people thought he was.
So he had help
at that time, even his late 60s, which, believe me, in my case at 61 is getting younger every day. And he knew also that I think he wanted Gene Stallings, but that he was okay with Ray Perkins. So, but I think with Saban, it would be. I had someone pose that question to me the other day. Would he just say, I'm tired of it, I want to leave? And the thought was, no, I don't think he would. And I think he's got another championship in him, and I think at that point he might during that time. And I mean, look, this is more rumor than anything else. But I'd heard that the year of Kick Six, when they were rolling along, if that hadn't happened, it may have been after that year. So, but he's as calculated as he is. I think it would probably be that he would give some kind of notice. I would be curious to know if he would have a hand, or at least some strong advice into who would replace him. I don't think he'll do what Spurrier did. Spurrier was remember this guy, Steve, when he was here, was a spur-of-the-moment guy. And he told people, he said, look, I'm just going to wake up one day, and I'll know it's time to go, and that's basically what he did. So, but Saban's not that way.
I would hope, seriously, that especially with the new rules and these early signings, that you would give enough time for a school to figure out what they wanted to do and to bring a guy in with him at the end because he's retiring, and he could help them recruit, but there would be nothing unethical. He'd be going, I think you're going to like this guy, but I'm not going to be here. Otherwise, if he went and recruited for this early signing period, and then when the signing period's over, he goes, you know what, I don't want to coach anymore. That would be a disservice to the 25 guys he signed.
Yeah, and I think they all would get immediate clearance from the NCAA to go somewhere else.
You would think.
Well, and they would. And look, the point you guys are making, if folks, and I think most of your listeners are astute enough to realize that, is we're basically, what, guys, 2 weeks or so tomorrow away from the early period. People forget that, but there's no doubt. Look, if you're going to hire somebody, I know everybody can't do it, but if you're going to hire somebody, a lot of this needs to be done this week so they can get on the recruiting trail and try to turn some of these kids.
Well, that's why I've made this statement. If college football is truly serious about keeping the bowl season as important, as relevant, as great or better than the regular season, they have to change the signing date. They can't allow you to hire a new coach until after the bowl games are done. Otherwise, it makes it a farce.
Sure it does. And look, I've often wondered, and frankly, I've been a proponent, if you're going to have an early signing period, and I understand the detractors to this, have it in August or sometime like that before and deal with it then, because and I know they wanted to get it around the signing of the JUCO kids in mid-December. But I mean, guys, the reality of it is, I know it helps some, but I mean, my goodness, it's still only if you're doing this thing mid-December, the original signing period in February is only about 6 weeks difference in a lot of ways. I mean, it's good to have your class pretty well put to bed by Christmas, but I've often heard that whatever this early signing period is now may not be where it's going to be in 5 years or so.
Brent, please tell me that Gus Malzahn has earned not being on a hot seat for the 2020 season. Hadn't that man done enough?
Well, yes, but his relationship with his own fan base is an EKG. And look, I'll answer that in two ways. I would say the seat certainly cooled off now after what they've done. But look, that situation is tenuous at best. Would it shock me if 365 days from now that he was out? Absolutely not.
Brent, but the people we were around Saturday in the stadium when he pulled off a master stroke, when he outfoxed the wily old fox, there were Auburn fans going, "What are you doing? He's going for it. No, he's going to pooch kick." And no, in effect, he played it perfectly. But they were questioning that before it happened.
Yeah. Look, there is and I know you have it with all fan bases, but there are a lot of Auburn fans who really want a change. And I mean, coming into this year, they had averaged 5 losses for 5 years in a row. They've got 3. If they lose a bowl game, it's 4. So you're getting close to that again. But I mean, the reality is, when you beat your rival, that will make it a whole lot easier off season for him. There's no question.
If you're right, and 365 days from now, if he loses to Alabama and he only wins 7 or 8 games, that he could be out the door, why wouldn't he take the guaranteed 5-year bigger money than he's making now from Arkansas? They're the ones that apparently want him. Why wouldn't he take that deal?
Because he's looked at that roster and that schedule.
Maybe I wonder, Dave, if he's thinking at that point, it's home. We think we would do okay there. Look, averaging 5 losses a year right now at Arkansas, I think they'd build a statue for you, according to some of their fan base. But I wonder if that could be. He's questioning how much he could win and how quickly he could win there under these circumstances in the West when you've got these schools that are clearly ahead of them right now.
Brent, and Auburn has forever wanted, and now they finally get it with next year's schedule, they wanted to get out of that back-to-back weeks of Georgia and Alabama, right. And in even number of years, they're both on the road. In odd number of years, they're both at home. They did have a little break this year in between those games, but sometimes they fall in back-to-back weeks. And the league accommodated them, but next year they give them a home game against LSU.
That's right. Yeah, and listen, people don't realize that, but the next year before Alabama, Auburn plays LSU, and before Auburn, Alabama plays Texas A&M. Mm-hmm. So that Georgia game will end up being obviously about the midpoint of the year. They got what they wanted, but boy, when you look at that, Brett, Dave, is that really what you wanted? Yeah. Playing LSU before you play Alabama?
I mean, you're going to have, I hope not seriously, but you're going to have somebody nicked up, maybe not out for the game, but certainly hurting. Well, you can have a bruise somewhere at minimum. You're going to be real sore.
Absolutely. I mean, when you've got an incredibly, I mean, you know what kind of physical game that's going to be. There's no question about that. I mean, look, you could, and we've said this forever in a conference like the SEC. I mean, you're not going to lose 10 guys in a game, but the reality is when you've got some of these difficult games back to back to back, you lose 2 or 3 starters every week. And listen, by the end of the third week, that really adds up, don't it?
Mm-hmm. Who's the best guy from Missouri, and how surprised were you that after a 500-year and all the culture change he had to make on that campus, on that field, that Barry Odom was dismissed?
So I was surprised, frankly, that he was. I mean, he did a pretty good job when he was there. That was one of those, and you always take a chance when you do this, and Southern Cal is a good example of this. When you basically promote from within and you've got that seamless transition that makes the players happy, it works in the beginning, but then after a while, the shine kind of comes off of that. So I think they thought they could do better. Frankly, now, if they're going down the Willie Fritz road, I think that would be a really good hire for them, frankly. With his, I mean, he can recruit, he can develop kids, and so forth. So if they could do a lot worse than that. But I tell you guys, in this day and age, it's really hard to fire someone if you don't have your ducks in a row and ready for someone to come in. That can be a very difficult situation, and that may be what FSU's going through right now.
Unless they're waiting for the guy they want.
Well, and that very well could be too.
I mean, how could you seriously not want that job?
We'll likely never know that. I mean, that will be their spin. That look, whoever they get is going to be their quote unquote guy at that point. So, but I can tell you this: the conference you guys cover, and the three of us have said this, shouted it from the mountaintop for quite a while. There's some incredible coaches in that conference.
Really, they really are.
Who deserve a lot of credit. Now, I still think that, and I hate to hammer on this ad nauseum, but I still think Bill Clark at UAB is one of the better coaches in football, and eventually someone's going to pry him from there, and he's going to be somewhere for 10 years.
Brent, fair? Was it fair, unfair, just life in the big city for what happened to Matt Luke?
I think two things should be happening there. I think one is Matt should be lauded and applauded because he was willing to step in the breach and be able to take the hits and to take them where they were. But I can understand why they want to go in another direction and get and I guess go to the next level. But I hope Matt lands on his feet. I think largely he did a pretty good job with them. But look, you've always got to have somebody that can step in and help you out, and he did. I mean, is that fair, Brett? Probably not. But the three of us have covered this league for a long time. We're not surprised that this is a route that they're taking.
He took on an airplane. They handed him it to the cockpit, and he took over an airplane. It was in a nosedive. He did not crash the plane into the airport, but he didn't really land it that safely.
Here's the thing for me. Pending on, from what I hear, it was a very good financial jettison, if you're going to use these plain terms, for him, that he ended up getting a good deal financially out of it, and that's important. But it certainly makes me skeptical, especially if I were a guy trying to save my alma mater, because sooner or later, it's nasty. They let you go, even if you've been a loyal, nice guy.
Ask Jerry Stovall. And everybody,
ask Matt Luke.
Ask Ray Goff. I mean, ask Rocky Felker.
Ask Rocky Felker. That was the other guy.
Just a shame. Just crying. I saw Rocky Felker at our golf tournament last summer. Crying shame it didn't work out for Rocky Felker at Mississippi State, because he is just a really good soul and a bulldog through and through. I don't know why anybody would ever take on their alma mater. The press conference is great, and the rest of it is rough.
The first year is good, and after that, if you aren't
0-0 is
fantastic,
great at your alma mater.
If you aren't fantastic, then it's they got to let you go.
Could it happen to Kirby at Georgia?
That's right. And listen, the point Brett brought up earlier is Dabo Swinney one of the few guys who could do that if he came back to Alabama?
I don't think he would. I don't think he should. He's built his legacy. They're going to name the stadium after him someday in Clemson.
I absolutely wouldn't. They got the Rock.
Howard's Rock. He was a Bama guy.
They got Howard's Rock, and the next thing they're going to have is Swinney statue.
Yeah, they are.
And he's their guy.
We going to be rubbing on the statue too?
Could be.
But
back to Matt. I mean, hopefully Matt will. People will look at that and they will realize that what he inherited was a very difficult situation. He did the best that he could do. It's a shame his player embarrassed him in the Egg Bowl. But hopefully from that. I mean, Matt could go somewhere even as an assistant and maybe get another head job somewhere down the line. I mean, he's got youth on his side, and he can reinvent himself and go from there. But you guys are right. Whoever takes jobs like that, they're gonna take the hit. And I hope, and Brett would know this more than me, but I hope there are people at Ole Miss who will not only appreciate what he's done, but also be grateful. And sometimes that the longer it takes, the more you appreciate people 5, 10, 15 years down the road for doing that.
Well, I'm both those. I am appreciative and I am grateful, and he's an excellent person. And I'm sorry it didn't work out. He just took over. I mean, July 20th, 2017 was one of the wildest days in Ole Miss sports history because they had to get rid of the guy that had proven himself and ended up, he was a fraud.
Yeah.
He just got bowl eligible too.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, they did. That's very true. And guys, I know this won't mean a whole lot to people, but I do want to say it real quick. Sad day here Jacksonville University, JU as it's affectionately called, drop football. I know it's a lower division, but I know you guys in your history, JU has a solid basketball history.
Oh, we know that.
Pembroke Burroughs the third.
Absolutely.
And
we were sad to hear that announcement this morning that they have abandoned football because it gave a lot of guys around here who weren't going to play Division I ball a place to go and a place to play. And you're just sad to hear that. I hope now they can really invest some money or more money into basketball because the basketball and baseball is their hope for the future.
As always, we appreciate it. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving, and we'll talk to you next week. We'll have
always
our
pleasure, guys.
bowls all
Appreciate
set.
you, and yes, over the next few days, and the carousel will be quite interesting, to say the least.
It sure will. Thank you, Brent Beard in Jackson.
And probably should have done it with Brent on there. I'm sorry we had to go. Everybody across the college sports world in sympathy and sadness over the loss of Pat Sullivan. And Saturday at the game at Jordan-Hare, literally looking at the Pat Sullivan statue and saw pregame. This guy didn't play with him. He was a few years after him. Blake Eden's dad, I asked him, I said, how's he doing? He said it could be any day, and it was the next day.
Yeah, well,
Pat Sullivan was a good man.
You know, and one of the things, certainly not in this category, but we have not mentioned yet the dismissal yesterday of Charlie Strong. So USF is looking for a football coach, and that ended up in
what a ride.
His trajectory from being a longtime assistant, couldn't get the gig, George believing in him,
worked,
hiring him at Louisville where it worked, going to Texas
Bowl,
where it was a disaster, getting a second chance at USF, and a good start with that second chance, and then it just fell apart. And boy, these last 2 years, or the last year and a half, just awful, awful, awful in Tampa for their Bull fans and for Charlie Strong. We take this quick time out. We'll let you know. Our title sponsor for this hour of the program, well, it's Homer Skelton Hyundai in Olive Branch, and the new Genesis of Olive Branch. Genesis, that luxury car, as good as any luxury car there is in the market anywhere in the world. I mean it. Go test drive one. You will be amazed. The smoothness, the acceleration. The G90 that I've got is a huge car. They've got a G70. That looks like a James Bond car. Same size engine. And if they had wings, it would take off. It's that good. And all that technology, well, all their cars are so good. The Hyundais are so good. You get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty with every car. And then you talk about this wonderful place to do business, the perfect marriage of the service and the technology that you've ever seen in the car business. All you got to do is get on Lamar to see it. Get into Mississippi, Craft Road's the first exit, turn left, go see Chris True and all the gang. You'll love what you see at Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch. Back in just a second, we will chat NFL with Jeff Moore. He's next on Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
Search Sports 56 on Facebook and give us a like. And follow us on Twitter at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Hey everybody, this is Coach Penny Hardaway. There's a comfort in being home, and to me, comfort food and family makes Memphis the place to be, along with having the best basketball fans in America. I like pulling into Corky's and getting one of their family party packs. How can you go wrong with pork, beans, slaw, sauce, and buns for only $5.99 a person? It is so easy. I can call ahead, order online, or just pop in. Tailgating can't get any easier. Tell them Penny sent you.
Encore flavor, Corky's barbecue.
It may not be stomach issues.
For me, it's intense gas, or pain, or diarrhea, sometimes all at once, over and over.
I spent years with the symptoms, but could never figure it out.
No matter what I did, they never went away. So I decided to break it down for my doctor and get really specific about my symptoms.
We discovered that exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, may be the reason for my stomach issues.
EPI is caused by my pancreas. It leads to diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools. The symptoms just don't go away.
But EPI can show up with even one symptom.
The good news? EPI is manageable.
But to get to the right diagnosis, you have to break it down for your doctor and get specific about the severity of your symptoms.
Visit identifyepi.com to learn more and use the symptom checker to help change the conversation with your doctor. Brought to you by AbbVie.
Pop the top on your next party. 34 North Cocktails. Available in Memphis now. Great for football grove parties, around the hunting campfire, and when you get home, entertain friends. Pop a premium can of Barrel Thief. Tastes just like an old-fashioned Barrel Thief made with aged bourbon, bitters, a hint of orange, a touch of vanilla, 15% ABV. Then, for you vodka lovers, try Sneaky Pucker, a refreshing lemonade premium vodka cocktail, 12.5% ABV. Made with super premium vodka, lavender, simple syrup, and lemonade. Delicious and smooth. Let the party begin with 34 North Cocktails.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. When was the last time you had your heating system tuned up? Did you know your heating system can lose up to 5% efficiency every year it skips a tune-up? Why compromise your family's comfort? Good news, it's heating system tune-up time at Conway Services. Schedule your heating system tune-up today for just $57. Not only will you save big, but we'll also include a Google Home Mini absolutely free while supplies last. That's right, get Conway Services 16-point Energy Saver Super Tune-up on your heating system for only $57 and get a Google Home Mini absolutely free. The experts at Conway Services will make sure your heating system is ready for those cold winter nights, all for only $57, and we'll include a Google Home Mini absolutely free. Why trust your comfort to anyone else? Stay warm and stay connected. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company at 384-3511. That's 384-3511.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
I love fall. The landscape is so beautiful at Town Village Audubon Park. Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. Looking for a great place to retire, but you still have a very active lifestyle? Then visit Town Village. Only requirements that you're 55 plus. Prices per month starting at $2,300. Gourmet Chef Drew invites you to visit our restaurant and bistro. Package includes 3 complimentary meals per day, maid service, free local transportation, daily check-in, monthly coffee club, themed dinner parties, lots of fun. Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home. Town Village Audubon Park.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Welcome back into the Family Leisure Studios. Cruising through our second hour. Jeff Moore joins us. Always does on Tuesdays. The NFL has a big story today. Ron Rivera fired as the head football coach of the Carolina Panthers. He actually had a pretty darn good record, in my estimation. I was a little surprised at this. Your take?
I was surprised, and I'm never in favor of an in-season firing of a coach, especially a veteran coach like Ron Rivera. They've struggled through some injuries and what have you. Obviously has lost the faith of the ownership, and they wanted to move in another direction. But I don't know that you help your team by doing it this late in the season.
You kind of cut him off his knees, don't you?
You do. You do.
You're basically saying the year is over.
Wave a white flag.
You don't care.
Jason Garrett, it doesn't feel like it's going to end well, does it?
It doesn't, unfortunately, but, they've just lost so many games that they should have won. I mean, and you look at the talent on that team on both sides of the ball and the way that they seem so unprepared and undisciplined. you have to look at coaching for that. I mean, I see too many instances where you got a 3rd and 10 and the guy runs an 8-yard route. I mean, you that's coaching. I mean, that's something you have to instill every day in a player. So it's second priority. Now the player should know better, but that should be something that's just drilled in, and it's basic. But they're just a team that I think universally have just underachieved with the talent they have.
Well, you saw the handwriting was clearly on the wall when Jerry Jones criticized, not this week, the week before, about the special teams, and he said that's just coaching.
Yeah.
And part of that was, even I think it was Joe Buck, who basically said when they had Tony Pollard out of position on a receiving of a kick, well, the coaches have to tell him to move. He's going to do what they say.
Right.
And, I think this one will turn out bad for Jason Garrett. And I honestly think Jerry Jones has been patient with him because if you listen to fans, 2 years ago they wanted to let him go, and he fought him off for 2 years. And now it's time, but he's still not going to do it in the midseason. So I think Jerry Jones has been classy with this.
He has it, and I frankly think he just genuinely likes the guy and wants to see him succeed. And they mess around and win a playoff game or two, I wouldn't be surprised to see him bring him back. I mean, it's not a move he wants to make for two reasons. I think, one, because he's endeared to Jason Garrett, but also to get a good quality coach that's going to want some control. That's going to be a bigger task than he realizes. I think that's going to be a challenge for him on the other end.
So a guy, let's just say, and this is not going to happen, but if a guy is headstrong and a really good coach like Bill Parcells was, let's just say that, he is not going to accept Jerry Jones telling him how to do his business.
That one didn't work well.
The way Jason Garrett has been so far.
Exactly. And, of course, there are not a lot of Bill Parcells around, but, a lot of your up-and-coming coaches, I mean, we hear Lincoln Riley's name tossed around a lot. Mm-hmm. That's the decision a coach has to really make, is how much real control he's going to have coming into that organization in terms of just not only personnel, but, coaching staff and decisions that affect the players on the field. It's something they have to take into consideration that they may not have to take into consideration going to another organization.
Are we seeing the last days of Tom Brady?
Yeah, we are. There's no question.
It looks like Peyton's last year a little. He hadn't been hurt.
Yeah. The frustration, the missed throws.
And Peyton won it that year.
But they've gotten away with being able to just move players around with basically, just numbers on their back and no names. They've gotten away with that for so long. It's just not working this year. Even with the great defense they have, they've just not been able to be that potent on offense. And you see Tom missing throws. You see him outwardly getting frustrated when players don't do what they're supposed to do. It's tough. And there's no question, Father Time does play a role in all of that.
The difference with him and Peyton in that last year is Peyton couldn't throw the ball.
Yeah.
And Tom Brady is still making the throws.
Yeah, they were
He's having a harder time getting away from traffic, where he used to be really good, and he still showed moments at the end of that game in sort of garbage time when they were making plays that he still has some of it. But I think not only are we seeing that, but we're seeing the changing of the guard in the AFC. It clearly seems to me, you tell me if I'm wrong, Baltimore's the best team now in the AFC.
No question about it. You look at the teams they beat. You look at the way that they played in those games. And this, again, goes to coaching. I mean, they show up prepared every week, offensively, defensively, special teams. They got the best kicker in the league, in a lot of people's opinion. And they just don't make mistakes. They are very athletic on both sides of the ball. And, they've won the games they've had to win. They've gone to New England. They've gone to Seattle. I mean, they dethroned San Francisco, and no one can come up with a formula for stopping Lamar Jackson because, frankly, I don't think there is one.
It's fun to watch.
Yeah,
it really is.
It is. The guy just has amazing speed, and it's great to see him being so effective in the pocket as well.
I don't think I've ever seen a year where, like, the MVP has switched around. Because for a while we were going to say, well, Brady could do it again. Then it was
Wilson.
Pretty clear it was Russell Wilson.
Preseason Mahomes.
He had that preseason Mahomes for sure. And then Deshaun Watson for a little bit there. People are, whoa, look what he's doing.
Yeah.
And now it's clear it's Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, and deservedly so. I mean, this is the second guy in his second year that just playing amazing. You don't see him making mistakes. He's very accurate and very heady with the football when he has to stay in the pocket or throw it down the field. And then when they do design run plays, it's just not fair. I mean, the guy's just so fast. He gets to the corner so quickly.
And this is money month. This is the push to the playoffs, and that's all that matters. Only 6 get in from each conference.
Yeah.
12 total.
Yeah, and the question is, are they peaking too soon, the Ravens? But again, I think they understand their attitude, the way they approach the game is just one game at a time. They want to ultimately end up in the big dance, but their approach is very much focused on the opponent for that week, and they play that way.
Who gets that last AFC wild card spot, Steelers or Titans?
Boy, I tell you,
That's tough.
I like the way the Titans are playing since Ryan Fitzpatrick took over.
Ryan Tannehill. Yeah.
Ryan Tannehill took over.
Fitzmagic's got magic going too.
No, since Tannehill took over, Derrick Henry's been unbelievable. I mean, he's running the ball very effectively, over 100 yards a game, and they like this offense. Likes the way Tannehill commands the offense, and they're looking very impressive. It's gonna. I like the Titans' balance a little bit better.
They seem to have momentum too.
They do.
It's always a little bit shaky. It seems
keep it
this year in Pittsburgh. What about Freddie Kitchens and the stupidity of wearing that T-shirt?
It's interesting the way some people just, if you just leave them to themselves, they'll reveal who they are. And there is absolutely no rationale whatsoever for him making a decision to wear that T-shirt.
No. And on the other side, and the Steelers fans and faithful in the locker room said it, no prayer Mike Tomlin ever gets down at that level. None. He's too classy.
Too classy.
No
question. You just think that through.
Last thing, best team in the NFC, is it New Orleans or is it Green? Poor San Francisco. They've lost 2 heartbreaking games. They played well in there. Jimmy G is still playing at a high level.
He is. I'd say New Orleans, but just by a razor margin. I mean, it's going to be a close race going all the way down the stretch.
And Green Bay looked pretty good this week, too.
Yeah.
Hate to say it. As always,
Thank
my
you,
friend,
Jeff.
we appreciate it. Thank you for coming in. We'll talk to
Enjoyed
you
it.
next week.
Thank you.
That is Jeff Moore, brought to you in part by Soulfish Cafe. Oh, it's one of my favorite places to go. There is no question about that, and there's an empire now. They got one in Little Rock, you know about that. They've got one in Oxford now, you know about that. They got 4 in Memphis. It started in Cooper Young, the best catfish around. They opened up in the Shops of Forest Hill Irene. That's in Germantown, right on the Collierville border. And guess what? They won not just best catfish, but they won best seafood and best soul food for the great veggies. 3 different things, same restaurant. Then they opened up one in East Memphis. It's hard to get in because it's all so good. And here's the other thing, consistency. I've never had it different. It's always really, really good. And I go to the one that's right there in East Memphis, just east of Perkins on Poplar in the old Wolf's Camera location. And now there's one on out in Wolf Chase. And that one is knocking them dead. They are really packing them in. Go see for yourself why. Best catfish and a whole lot more at Soulfish Cafe. Back in a minute, Steve Earhart, Big Cheese, head honcho of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, will let us know who's coming, or we'll try to get it out of him anyway. That's next on Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
Get happy with Johnny Radio's Happy Hour. Weekday afternoons from 1 till 3 on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
One thing I really admire about Central Barbecue is their commitment to quality.
Then why do they let you do their commercials?
I'm talking about their food. Everything is prepared with devotion to taking the time and effort to create perfect barbecue.
Oh, I know. That's exactly why I was wondering why...
They're not kidding with that slow-smoked Memphis-style slogan. They smoke their pork for 14 hours. Do they have to? They do if they want to be the best barbecue in Memphis, and they are.
And yet they let you just throw together...
There's nothing better than Central Barbecue because they care.
Except apparently about their radio ads.
It may not be stomach issues.
For me, it's intense gas. or pain, or diarrhea, sometimes all at once, over and over.
I spent years with the symptoms but could never figure it out.
No matter what I did, they never went away. So I decided to break it down for my doctor and get really specific about my symptoms.
We discovered that exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, may be the reason for my stomach issues.
EPI is caused by my pancreas. It leads to diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools. The symptoms just don't go away.
But EPI can show up with even one symptom.
The good news? EPI is manageable.
But to get to the right diagnosis, you have to break it down for your doctor and get specific about the severity of your symptoms.
Visit identifyepi.com to learn more and use the symptom checker to help change the conversation with your doctor. Brought to you by AbbVie.
Your nationally ranked Memphis Tigers are playing host to Cincinnati in the American Athletic Conference Football Championship game on Saturday at 2:30 p.m. This is the third straight championship game appearance for the Tigers, but this time it's at home. Tickets start at just $20 and are available now at GoTigersGo.com or by calling 901-678-2331. Memphis versus Cincinnati on Saturday, December 7th at Liberty Bowl Memorial Stadium. Be there and help the Tigers win the AAC Championship and a trip to the Cotton Bowl.
Stripe up. It's game on at the new Moneyline Book Bar and Grill inside the Gold Strike Casino Resort. Now you can bet on all of your favorite sports and watch the games on 60 HD TVs while you lounge in plush seating and enjoy craft beers, signature cocktails, and great food. Plus, don't miss the Topgolf Swing Suite, a virtual reality experience with a variety of fun interactive games every sports fan will love. Visit the Moneyline Bar, Book, and Grill at Gold Strike Casino Resort for Monday Night Football happy hour specials. Or anytime you want a piece of the best sports action in Mississippi.
I want to invite you to come by the Spirit Shop. You know, that little log cabin on Poplar? Your liquor and wine oasis. The Spirit Shop has been providing sports fans their beverage needs since way back in 1969. So come in now and get ready for the big game. Whether your favorite team wins or loses, the Spirit Shop will help you celebrate or ease that pain away. The Spirit Shop is open every day, and they're located perfectly at 4848 Poplar. That's the corner of Poplar and St. Nick.
Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshyn and Brett Norsworthy.
Final segment here in hour number 2. We bring in the Big Cheese, the head honcho of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Got to shift around because we've got the Ole Miss pregame show coming your way at 5:30, and Steve was kind enough to fit us in. And this is a busy time for you. So, who is coming to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl?
Give it to us now, Steve.
I've talked to just about every other bowl director that could be affected. I've talked to the SEC office, talked to the American office. I did not talk to the Big 12 yet. They're going to call tomorrow after they have the release of the rankings tonight. So nobody knows for sure. I mean, everybody's got an opinion. I mean, all these prognosticators, they're all over the place. So I wish I could tell you. I think we'll have a good matchup. We've got 3 conferences in play with the Big 12, the SEC, and the American. And if you can tell me how many teams will be selected to go to fill the Orange Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, the Sugar Bowl, then I can tell you who we're going to be getting. But
so if you were a betting man, and I know you are not.
I can't bet. I don't bet at all.
I know you don't.
Careful.
But you study odds.
Yeah,
so if
true.
you really carefully studied these odds, what do you think the odds are of you getting an SEC team here?
You know, Jerry Palm, who is one of the odds makers on CBS, who's pretty good, he's projected that we're going to get Kentucky out of the SEC, and the way he does that is he projects that for SEC fans that tonight that he thinks that one of the Big Ten teams will be ahead of Alabama, and that they will get LSU up into the final playoff, the 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3, and then Georgia will go to the Sugar Bowl, but then Penn State will get into the Orange Bowl to play the second best team in the ACC, and that he projects Oregon is going to beat Utah, so Oregon would go to the Rose Bowl, and that Utah would go to the Cotton Bowl to hopefully he does project Memphis to be playing Utah in the Cotton Bowl. So that's one plan.
Who's he got? So he's got Ohio State, and he's got
Clemson,
LSU, Clemson, and who's the fourth team in the?
He's got Oklahoma because he's got Oregon beating Utah, so then Oregon gets the automatic slot in the Rose Bowl, and because Utah, we project that they'll probably be, fifth or sixth in the rankings tonight, and so that even if they get beat by Oregon, that they wouldn't drop that far. And remember, and this is for Memphis fans, Memphis, if they win, they'll be the highest-ranked group of 5 champion. Remember, you got to be the champion of the league. So if Memphis doesn't win, even though they will have a great record, they will not be the champion because Cincinnati will be the champion. So then they do not have the opportunity to play in the group of or the 6, the 12 slots when we talk about going up.
Palm's got Memphis winning that game and playing Utah in the Cotton Bowl.
That's correct.
Okay.
And now on the other hand, you could say. And I've seen some people saying that Utah playing Alabama as the next highest rated because when you get to the Cotton Bowl slot, it's filled up by the highest ranked champion of the group of 5 against the last team in the CFP rankings, which will come out on Sunday morning or Sunday at noon, and that is the filth, regardless of what conference they come from. Whereas in the Sugar Bowl, the Rose Bowl, and the Orange Bowl, those are all contracted. In other words, in the Sugar Bowl, you get the second team from the SEC against the second team from the Big 12. The Rose Bowl, second team or first team, whatever the highest-ranked Pac-12 team that's not in the Final Four against the highest-ranked team that's not in the Final Four. We all think Ohio State will be, so will that be Wisconsin? Will it be Penn State? Who will that be playing out there? And then the Orange Bowl is a real tricky one. That is the second-best team from the ACC, so people think that could be, Virginia Tech. I think Wake Forest has worked their way out of that against the next highest-ranked team from either Notre Dame, the Big Ten, or the SEC. So that's why when you see the rankings come out tonight, you got to pay real close attention to the rankings, especially from 7 to 11, and see how that works out. But we'll have a great team, and we're looking forward to December 31st, and things are really breaking fast. This Sunday we'll have the announcements, and it really goes fast when and ESPN controls the announcement. When that comes out at, I believe they make the first announcement at just shortly after noon our time, and then by 3 o'clock Eastern, it would be 2 o'clock here. And then the SEC and the Big 12, they call each bowl like you got 5 minutes, and then you got to make your arrangements, and then by 3 o'clock everybody will be announced as to where everybody's going, and it's bang, bang, bang from there on. And we've had information that the teams that could be coming here will want to fly into Memphis Monday morning to start doing their reconnaissance and making plans for bringing a big crowd to Memphis. So things are going to break in a hurry, so heads up to all our partners in the hotels to be ready for teams to be doing their scouting missions here on Monday.
Let's say Alabama got up and Memphis lost on Saturday, which obviously we hope that does not occur, but if it did, is there that opportunity still for Memphis to be in your game?
Yes, but I'm confident that Coach Norvell and the Tigers, they're going to take care of business. They're at home, and I know it's hard to beat a team 2 weeks in a row, but Memphis has got so much speed, and they're playing with a purpose, and Cincinnati's had to travel twice now in 6 days, and so I'm confident that you said I'm not a betting guy, but I have a lot of confidence that Memphis will win that game, and then they'll go to the Cotton Bowl, and then they'll play one of these teams from. It could come from either 3 conferences. Could come from the Big 12, could come from the Pac-12, could come from the SEC. It won't come from the ACC because their second team goes to the Orange Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
But we got a lot of things going. All our high school players are reporting for their first practice day on Sunday because then that game is a week from Saturday at MUS. We got some great players, Mr. Football, and I was talking to Tennessee today, and it was great talking about Eric Gray from Lausanne School, who, remember, they put on a late push to get him to sign with Tennessee, and he had 250 yards rushing in that game, set a freshman record for Tennessee. It was good stuff. There's that was a great move for Eric as well as for the University of Tennessee. But we're looking forward to a big game, and all our events are starting to line up, and we're going to have again a terrific week of events. We start out with the Bass Pro Shops. We've got the welcome party there and the shopping there, and then we've got a new event there at Dave & Buster's for the players and the coaches and their kids and families to be out there. And then, of course, we have the rodeo, we have the FCA breakfast, we have the parade on Beale Street, the gala featuring Scotty McCrary, and so we're really looking forward to a great year.
You got this down. There is no question, Steve. We will know next Tuesday when we check. Thank you.
Tell your listeners, be alert there at noon. Don't be sleeping about noon on Sunday, because that's when it's all going to go down, and it'll go down in a hurry. And so have your radio close, and you guys should be broadcasting what happens there on Sunday morning.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, Steve.
We appreciate it. That is Steve Earhart from the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Those are 2 hours in the books. Now we got a short half hour coming your way. Brett's got Beau Marchant coming, and he's got a little bit of crunch time with Drew. I'm going to slip out of here and head to FedEx Forum.
Be safe.
I will see you tomorrow, and hopefully the Tigers will win game number 6 in a row and 7 on the season.
I like the Tigers tonight.
I do too. So does Vegas.
And they're getting better and better without James Wiseman and
Lester Quinones. Well, that's the thing, you
got to get better.
You got to get better, and just in time when those guys come back for this stretch run, that should be really, really fun.
It'll be real fun.
Brett's back in a minute. This is Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
The Home Depot is giving Santa's Workshop a run for its money with free power tools from top brands like DeWalt, Milwaukee, Rigid, Ryobi, and Makita. Buy a select power tool or battery kit from any one of these trusted brands and get another select tool from the same brand free. Even Santa can't beat that. Free select power tools from top brands, only from the Home Depot Gift Center. More saving, more doing. Valid through February 2nd while supplies last.
I'm here with the great Pat Donahue from the Rendezvous Restaurant Shipping Department.
Thanks, Brett. We've been shipping our ribs all over the country now for decades from our USDA-inspected shipping kitchen in the Pinch District. We hand-cook our ribs in pits that Mr. Charlie built over charcoal, just like they do at the restaurant.
So what comes in a rib box?
We could do pork shoulder, we could do ribs, our sauce, seasoning, baked beans, coleslaw. We'll even throw in Pancho's cheese dip with our nacho boxes. We also put a bag of Rendezvous seasoned popcorn, heating instructions, some chef hats, some wet naps, and some other helpful tips from our kitchen. We ship our ribs overnight, exclusively FedEx. And we put them in nice packaging. We don't ever want to use styrofoam, so we use corrugated cardboard, actually 2 boxes that fit nice together. So the ribs get to you, your loved ones, or your clients in a safe, wholesome manner. Rendezvous ribs are perfect for out-of-town clients, customers, loved ones. We also ship ribs for any occasion.
Where do we order these great ribs?
You can go to www.hogsfly.com or give us a call at 1-888-464-7359.
Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous Restaurant in the alley since 1948.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. When was the last time you had your heating system tuned up? Did you know your heating system can lose up to 5% efficiency every year it skips a tune-up? Why compromise your family's comfort? Good news, it's heating system tune-up time at Conway Services. Schedule your heating system tune-up today for just $57. Not only will you save big, but we'll also include a Google Home Mini absolutely free while supplies last. That's right, get Conway Services 16-point Energy Saver Super Tune-up on your heating system for only $57 and get a Google Home Mini absolutely free. The experts at Conway Services will make sure your heating system is ready for those cold winter nights, all for only $57, and we'll include a Google Home Mini absolutely free. Why trust your comfort to anyone else? Stay warm and stay connected. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company at 384-3511. That's 384-3511.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
The Vault on G.E. Patterson in South Main downtown has all your game day needs with 30 TVs. If your game is not on one of the 20 big screens, then sit in a booth with your own remote. The Vault has game day specials on pitchers, buckets of beer, and great food, which is the best thing about the Vault. This is not your normal sports bar. Chef Dirk Meitzler from On Tour and Cafe 621 has all his favorites like Chicken Newport and his new lobster enchilada. Open for lunch and dinner every day with lunch specials for $12 weekdays with a drink. The Vault on G.E. Patterson in South Main, your downtown place to eat, drink, and watch the game.
If you're an outdoorsman and love all things hunting and fishing, be sure to listen to Sports 56 Saturday mornings at 6 a.m. for Outdoors Today. Brought to you by The Gun Store, 6920 Winchester in Memphis. Outdoors Today is a 1-hour show hosted by veteran Mark Tobin and a group of respected outdoor-loving guests. Outdoors Today is dedicated to bringing outdoorsmen tips and techniques and tactics to help with your hunting and fishing in all seasons. Saturday mornings at 6 on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 87.7 and 96.1 FM.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Wolosian and Brad Norsworthy.
Final half hour on this Tuesday afternoon. We're out at 5:25, leading into Ole Miss basketball at 5:30 from the Learfield IMG Ole Miss Network. David Kellum and Mark Duke on the call for that one at 5:30 with pregame tip at 6 o'clock. This hour every day brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. They specialize in late model cars with low mileage. They have very high standards at DeSoto Auto Sales down on Goodman Road, 5704 to be exact, Goodman Road. All the cars test driven at DeSoto Auto Sales, all checked out from head to toe, unlimited inventory. And if they don't have it, they'll go out and find it for you. Start your 2020 in your dream car from DeSoto Auto Sales. No shortcuts taken at DeSoto Auto Sales. They treat you like family, kind, courteous employees, laid-back atmosphere, no high-pressure sales. And they know we're living in a world today that time matters. They want you to have the ultimate car experience. Exactly what is that? Well, you walk in, within 45 minutes, you test drive your car, get credit approved, finish the paperwork, and you're gone in less than 45 minutes. They know we live in a world today that time matters, and they'll get you in and get you out of DeSoto Auto Sales. Check out the referrals online at DeSotoAutoSales.com, 662-890-7184 on Goodman Road. Come on down for that town and country experience to DeSoto Auto Sales in DeSoto County on Goodman Road. We talk the National Football League every week at this time with our friend from collegetopro.com. He also covers the Pittsburgh Steelers and all things football in Northeast Ohio and Western PA. The story today is in Charlotte, though. Riverboat Ron goes to the Super Bowl in San Francisco and loses to Peyton Manning and the Broncos in Super Bowl 50, and he's out today. And with him, a lot of questions about the future. With him being out, a lot of questions about the future of the Panthers. They will go into next year without Ron Rivera and without Cam Newton, Bo Marchant.
Yeah, I think you're right. Well, we know one for sure has already been dismissed today, and it appears likely that Cam Newton played 2 games with the Panthers, and those will be the last 2 games he plays with the Carolina franchise. I think we saw this coming. They started off a little hot, and then they took they started a nosedive, typical Carolina Panthers fashion, if you will. And 5-7, 2 losses in a row, and that must have been the thing that clicked his ticket. But I mean, good overall coach. I mean, the year they went to the Super Bowl, I was looking. 15-1 the year. Only 6 teams in the modern day, have gone 15-1. So hang yourself up. But getting back to the Super Bowl, that NFC Championship game was the last time he won a playoff game in Carolina. So that was 2015. We're in 2019. So expectations are high, despite Cam Newton not playing. But nonetheless, I'll be a new face in Carolina soon.
Will be a new face, and we were talking just a bit ago about Freddie Kitchens, and I like Freddie Kitchens, but kind of the good side of Freddie Kitchens all kind of manifested last year that helped him get the job, and kind of the bad side has appeared more this year. And the bad side, really bad look, was that T-shirt, and we all agreed earlier, there's just not a snowball's chance, and where, of Mike Tomlin ever debasing himself like that. Zero.
Yeah, I don't even think I don't know how many other the 31 coaches besides Freddie Kitchens would actually pull that kind of thing. At least the ones you think, I wouldn't see Belichick doing it, Tomlin, Pete Carroll. It just sends the wrong message, and you'd never want to. you never want to give any team more motivation than they already have. And I don't want to get off subject, but I do a local show with our high school coach here in the city, and we're in our second year, and we always feature one of the players, and the parents love it. And the one night I did the show, and the kid goes, well, we watched tape. They have some good players, but they're soft. Right when he said that, I knew I had to go back and edit it completely out of the interview, because I knew. And the show ended. I said to the head coach, he goes, can you edit that out? I go, yes, I can. And he even texted me later that night. It was around 10:30. He goes, did you get it out? I want to make sure it's gone, because you don't want to give anyone. And Marone Foster, after the Steelers game, he basically said as much as it's a little bush league, and it did give them some motivation. So and one more thing, Brett, and I don't think Baker Mayfield. This is me speculating on this entirely. I don't even know if Baker Mayfield would have had but in my mind, after the first Steelers-Browns game, when they interviewed him and he kind of called, he just said this kind of stuff can't happen.
He did.
Enough.
It was the most adult he's been.
Yeah, I took it as if he wasn't really talking about Garrett. He was kind of talking about the whole team under the leadership of Freddie Kitchens. That's how I took it. Again,
he was instrumental in getting him hired, though, and I couldn't believe that the Haslams let a rookie quarterback hire the future of the franchise coach.
Well, he's the same guy that pushed for, Johnny Manziel, and he's the same guy that wanted McCown benched when the team was, somewhat efficient under Mike Pettin. And, hey, when you're the owner, you pay the checks, you make the decisions. And, but I would be surprised if Kitchens outlasts the season. Expectations were so high. Maybe if they had some major injuries, maybe Mayfield wasn't there and whatnot. But, Odell Beckham's been a disappointment there. The offense hasn't flowed.
Always will be.
Yeah. So I just think at the end of the day, expectations weren't met. And I think the way that the season has progressed in terms of, the way that the team has underperformed along with the foolish penalties, I think those will be the things that'll seal Freddie Kitchens' fate in Cleveland.
In that last AFC wildcard, Steelers, if the season ended today, they would get a lot of football left to play. And, look, it's a different first name, legal name. It's a different nickname. Duck Hodges he's been pretty steady.
He has, even the rumblings, even in the press box, just the people you talk to, it just seemed like everybody felt more comfortable with Devlin Hodges. I was on the border between, because, Hodges is going to have his games. If he doesn't, it's going to be a really fortunate situation for Pittsburgh if he doesn't have, that big turnover game or he's unable to kind of perform at the level they want him to. Yeah, and Mason Rudolph had his moments, but he was just too turnover prone.
Yeah.
To say, hey, we're in the playoff hunt. We're going, we're going to pull every string we can to get this team in the right direction. But I do believe, and again, just my observation, just my opinion, I just think that I do think Hodges presents a little bit better deep ball. I think the offense moves more fluently with him, and I think that's the perception around many covering the Steelers too. Again, from the people I speak with, I just think they feel more confident with the Hodges, under center, and moving forward, he's going to be the guy
in the preseason. And I was serious about it. I'll take ownership. My Super Bowl pick was Dallas over Pittsburgh. Neither side of that's happening. Neither Dallas out of the NFC or the Steelers out of the AFC. I'm going to count it as a little bit of a win if the Steelers get into the playoffs. And I think Mike Tomlin could garner some Coach of the Year votes if they punch a playoff ticket. They got to get in the playoffs, and the Titans are on their heels, and the erratic Raiders and the erratic Colts behind them.
Yeah, under the circumstances, basically a skeleton roster. You're down to a guy who was on the practice squad and Hodges. Juju Smith-Schuster's not been playing. James Conner's, been out. Look at Marquise Pouncey wasn't there last week.
Hey, I'm going to call out someone I love. Dante Moncrief gave them nothing, and they got rid of him.
Yeah, Moncrief gave him. But, it wasn't his time in Pittsburgh. We know Moncrief's a good receiver. Just, that New England game was such a hard game to get past with all the drops he had that night. And kind of like the Ernest Biner fumble. He went on to Washington and won a Super Bowl, but everybody remembers Biner, for that. And
That's right.
I mean, if you're living in Northeast Ohio or Western Pennsylvania, when you hear the word Dante Moncrief, you think New England opening night, how many more passes the guy could have dropped.
He wore his hands out all night.
Yeah, so it's a label.
Last night's Monday night game, and we all called it. Drew and Dave and I, we were all talking about it yesterday. It lived up to it. In the Monday night game matchups, the buffet on Monday night, it's been good this year. Last night's game was terrific between the Vikings and the Seahawks.
Yeah, and I thought it was. And let me ask you this. I mean, you know me, I'm high on the Seahawks anyways, but I mean, I thought Minnesota gave that game away, in my opinion. You know, it's not that Seattle played bad. I just thought,
Oh, they did. Don't
Minnesota
they usually
outplayed Seattle.
Now, that was without Thielen. It was a lot of withouts for the Vikings, but are you really ever going to trust Kirk Cousins? Now, 0-8 on Monday night. The previous Monday night record, when he got to 0-7, he got it. Do you know who had the previous records both tied at 0-6 for Monday Night Football futility? Joe Namath, 0-6, and Archie Manning, 0-6.
Wow. Would have never guessed either one of those two.
And I remember every one of Archie's, and it was it was about like last night. It would always, something would happen at the end. We're talking National Football League with Beau Marchant from collegetopro.com. You can follow him on Twitter at Beau Marchant. The Rams, they're at the real fork in the road for their season, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little bit too late, especially in the NFC West. I mean, you got, the 49ers and the Seahawks, both 10-2, and they're sitting on the outside of the wild card, basically, trying to catch up to the teams like the Vikings and whatever team besides the Seahawks or the 49ers that make the other wild card opportunity. So it just hasn't been their year. And I feel bad because, they went out, they acquired Jalen Ramsey. They were trying to do things in season, but, offensively, not even close to what we saw last year. I mean, they're just a shell of themselves last year. And the defense has kind of just not been up to tune either. I mean, they've had their moments. I mean, the big debacle at home against Tampa when, you're letting Jameis Winston just kind of, throw the ball, just freely across the field. And, those are the games I think when the Rams look back this year, because, I mean, I would be shocked with the, week 12, 4 games left, how this team's going to, manufacture enough wins to get in the playoffs with everybody already ahead of them. I don't think those teams are going to falter to the point that the Rams can catch them. But I think those are the type of games, And, the funny thing, I mean, the next week they lose that game, they go to Seattle. They really play Seattle tough. The missed field goal at the end, they could have won that game. But, it's the games. I always look at the games you got to win that you got to win. You got to beat Tampa. When you go up against a Mike Tyson, you don't know who's going to win that game. But if you're not fighting Mike Tyson, you're fighting a guy like myself, you better beat me. Because if you don't beat me, it's going to be a long year.
Yeah, it will be a long year. On the Coach of the Year front, any for Matt LaFleur in Green Bay, or is all that credit go to Aaron Rodgers?
I think you could give him some credit, and it goes through. I mean, I would look at the GM for bringing in the free agents defensively. The Smith guys, and I mean what they did. I guess you could say that. I mean, they're right there in the mix. I mean, 9-3. So I mean, you can't. But I mean, I think there's so many. I mean, again, going back to Harbaugh, I mean, this guy was taking a beating last year. Now he's basically, the head coach of the best team in the National Football League at the moment. We mentioned, Mike Tomlin. Look at Sean Payton. They went a big stretch.
Went 5-0 with a backup quarterback.
Yeah, without, you know what I mean? Like, I think there's so many, how about Kyle Shanahan? You know what I mean? Yeah, so I really think, this year I think there's so many teams because I think there's so many top-heavy good teams. I mean, the Ravens, Belichick's, they're still the Patriots. They're 10-2. They're
at Buffalo.
They're the scariest team. Trust me, they're the scariest team anyone wants to play. I promise you that. But you go down the list. Pete Carroll. I mean, they've done a terrific job. The floor's there. You might. If maybe if the Vikings got hot and didn't lose another game, we might start mentioning Mike Zimmer. But I think there's at least 4 or 5 solid candidates where if any one of those guys named was nominated as, Coach of the Year, I would applaud it and just say well-deserved.
Bo, this is the time of year, my favorite time of year for the NFL because I'm kind of freed up on Sunday just selfishly, but these games, man, they matter, and the weather. Sunday when you turn on the Giants in Green Bay, you got to love it when the network superimposes the hash marks and the yard markers. I like it when they would take it down and show you what it really looked like there. You didn't know where the field was.
No, I mean everyone. I mean we were all in like the eating section of the Steelers. They got like 9 TVs going. They got all the games going on, and
I like
everybody was just clamored to watching the Packers and Giants because it's snow. It's November. It's when you think of football weather, that's what you think of. The only thing about the snow was kind of weird was they weren't in Green Bay at Lambeau. They were actually in New York at MetLife. But yeah, I mean people love it. It's part of football. That's one thing that makes me sad, even when I see all these magnificent, beautiful stadiums kind of being built. They're not the outdoor stadium. They're all kind of, like these, temples.
Almost too nice. Yeah.
Yeah, they're too nice. You almost want to have a gala and a wedding more than a football game on a Sunday. But, that's where we're headed, and it's business. But, again, Lambeau's still there. We still have MetLife. There's plenty of outdoor stadiums. If you're there to see some snow, you'll get it.
And you're right about it. In these NFL press boxes at the Titans games, in my Superman cave, I want that bank of TVs they all have in the media room. It's always in the dining room where you can watch every single game going on and every pregame show all up there at the same time. But we talk about the niceness, and you're right. And even Lambeau, now some people, a lot of people still have to go out there in those conditions, but they say they have just totally turn that into Taj Mahal. And they have galas and weddings and stuff in the off season there.
Well, I can imagine that in Green Bay, the way they love the Packers. I mean that to me wouldn't be a far-fetched thing. If I was doing it all over again, maybe I didn't ask the fiance at the time, if she'd want to do something like that at any stadium. Lambeau's Lambeau. That's I could see other stadiums doing it too. Sure. I mean. If you're a big Chiefs fan, who wouldn't want to get married in Arrowhead? I mean, just
And everybody says the inner workings, the bowels of the stadium at Arrowhead, that it was way ahead of its time. That Lamar Hunt, the foresight he had, that it is super nice all through that stadium. Bo, we've got to cut out early today. Thank you for your time. We'll have an extended visit next week. Enjoy the games this weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Have a great week, Brett.
You got it. Bo Marchant talking NFL with us every week, and. We talk about the niceness of the stadium, though, but you have to have that to justify that ticket price now.
You do, because
you can't just give them a bleacher seating.
No, because we've set a standard so high that when you go to a stadium that doesn't live up to that level, regardless of how the game goes, you notice you complain about it.
In the Titan Stadium, you can already feel it becoming weathered, and you remember that feeling the first time you walked in. But probably the stadium above any for me. The first time I walked in the Georgia Dome, the first year it hosted the SEC championship game in '94 after being at Legion Field in '92 and '93, I thought I'd walked in just the palace of all time. They've already torn it down and built something much nicer and bigger.
Yeah, probably the NFL stadium that was like that for me was probably Ford Field. I thought that was
Tigers bowl game.
Huge. It was so nice and pretty, and that was 13 years ago.
Yeah, December of 05.
Or 14 years ago, yeah.
05, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that was it. A long time ago. Tigers night downtown at FedEx Forum at 8 o'clock. You can listen to Dave. You can watch on CBS Sports Network. Tigers 12.5-point favorites in that one. The Big Ten ACC Challenge will get a lot of my TV time tonight. Ole Miss at the bottom of this hour pregame. Mark Dukes and David Kellum tip at 6 o'clock. Ole Miss a 1-point favorite over 24th-ranked Butler in that one. 19th-ranked Dayton, they had a great Maui Invitational. They came up just a little short. They play tonight at home against Houston Baptist. 31-point favorite for the Dayton Flyers in that one, but a lot of good ACC Big Ten games tonight. Duke and Michigan State. Michigan State a 6.5-point favorite in that one. On campus at Michigan State, no cozy neutral setting for Duke like we normally see. This time of year, if you're going to have an office party, any get-together, there are a lot of those. Keep Jason's Deli in mind for catering. Also, dinner hour coming up before you head downtown to FedEx Forum. Keep Jason's Deli in mind for dinner time. It's not just a lunch place. It's also at dinner. Locations on Ridgeway Road, Poplar and Highland, Olive Branch and Cordova. Catering anytime, anywhere, and a lot of holiday events will have it catered by Jason's Deli. All the great salads, the meats, the cheese, the spreads, the breads, all that great fresh food. Jason's Deli, all about choice, regardless if you seek a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids meals, or if you'd like to build your own invent your own sandwich, you can do it with the build your own selections. All the organic food to choose from. Great salad bar, over 30 items just on on the salad bar. I mentioned the salads, the Mesa's chicken salad, the chicken club salad, the nutty mixed up salad, the big chef salad, the chicken Caesar salad. I love the taco salad. They have the original portion. That's huge. They have the lighter portion, and it's not that light. It's just a little bit smaller and all very, very affordable. Again, locations on Ridgeway Road, Poplar and Highland, Olive Branch, and Cordova. Check them out online as well at jasonsdeli.com. Let's get into Taco Bell Crunch Time.
This is Geraldo. It is crunch time. You are looking live. It's crunch time. In your life have you seen anything like that?
Golly, I don't remember that one.
Take questions again for the student athletes at this time, please.
He's a professional. He's pretty classy for his age.
In the crunch time, that's the frustrating part. Little Penny could make some appearances this year.
Okay, I'm not huge into stats.
Has it always been this way?
What's happening, big dog? How you doing?
Is this thing working?
Immediately when the buzzer sounds, he lets out this shriek.
He throw those ears forward. He was in stroke mode.
It's obviously crunch time.
Boop, boop, boop. That's what you're getting.
Time for Taco Bell Crunch Time. Taco Bell, home of the crispy tortilla chips, topped with a double portion of either seasoned beef or shredded chicken, plus refried beans, nacho cheese sauce, reduced fat sour cream, guacamole, and a 3-cheese blend. Nachos Bel Grande, heaping portion of chips, topped with ground beef, tomatoes, beans, nacho cheese sauce, and a dollop of sour cream. Taco Bell, home to great food you get on your way home real fast, and they bring you crunch time every day. We'll be back for a full show tomorrow, 3 to 6. Dave will be back in here. It's been great to have Dave back after he's been gone with the Tigers and been very busy. What I learned today, another day of coaching carousel, rumors and sightings. Anybody can say anything. Anybody can tweet anything. A friend's cousin's brother's Amazon delivery driver saw so-and-so, fill in the blank, at such and such Walmart in such and such town, fill in the blank. It's all mostly garbage. It's mostly harmless, though, isn't it? It's fun. Everybody enjoys. Everybody. It's just human nature. All of us want to know something nobody else knows, but we all see fit to tell it, don't we?
We do. We're the worst at keeping secrets of all time. What I learned today is that I apparently might not know the hockey as well as I thought, as the New Jersey Devils have fired their head coach, John Hines, earlier today.
If you don't know the hockey, who does in the South? It's sure not Dave.
I'm the foremost hockey expert of the South. I'm not saying I'm still not an expert. I might not just be the best expert in the world. In the South, still yes, because I had the Devils in the playoffs.
Well, you see how hot my Leafs have they been since firing Mike Babcock with one of the great stage names of all time.
It truly is a great name.
Great name. We're not hockey experts, but neither is Dave, and he claims to be a real one.
He really does, and then always likes to bring up, can you skate?
He played.
No, I can't skate. I'm born and raised in Rossville, Tennessee. Of course I don't know how to skate.
We're 600 miles from frozen water. He does bring up, have you ever played? He's big on that. He's a big hockey expert. Could have done without. All right, I picked Dave a little bit in his absence. I'm going to pick it myself in Dave's absence. My Jags. What a terrible team to adopt this year. It's been a certified Jaguar disaster, hasn't it? Nick Foles hurt. Then back, and he was bad. Minsanity kind of good, not really consistent. Tom Coughlin, will he go out in the offseason and for 1 year sign Eli Manning? No, he won't. He won't. I think Eli's ready for it to be done. What is it you could have done with that?
I could have done without kind of what you learned today. Twitter, just all of it with the coaches carousel stuff going on right now. Look, I know Memphis fans and everybody else were nervous about the future of Mike Norvell, where he's going to be. But let's save it until after Saturday, right? Can't we just enjoy what we have going on right now and enjoy the AAC championship here?
I think I know the answer to this. If it's to FSU, you're proud for him, aren't you?
Very proud.
If it's to Ole Miss, what are you?
Maybe not as proud, but still proud. I mean, to think back growing up, and especially the way that the Memphis program has evolved 20 years ago, Ole Miss fans were taking it as a slap to the face to hire a Memphis coach. Now they'd be happy to have him.
That's right. That is very true.
And I take pride in that.
And I still will be surprised if it's Ole Miss for Mike Norvell, because I think FSU might be fanning out one more big swing at a big pinata, and then we'll settle in on a really good coach and a future superstar.
And if it is FSU, you just got to look at where your program is now. You've had 2 coaches stolen by the ACC. I take that as a successful program.
Oh, heck yes. Heck yes. Keeping a close eye on a lot tonight. Tigers and Bradley at FedEx Forum, old Missouri Valley matchup. Tigers have to just keep getting better until the Cavalry arrives in January. The college football playoff release tonight. Not going to be a lot of drama tonight. The only thing now that matters is Saturday's play and then the final release on Sunday. And we'll see how Ole Miss bounces back in basketball against Butler. Again, they lost by 41, only scoring 37. That was hidden in the wild weekend that it was. Michigan and Louisville in the ACC Big Ten Challenge. Number 1, Louisville against Juwan Howard's Wolverines. FSU at Indiana, Duke at Michigan State. Eric Musselman in Arkansas at home tonight against Austin Peay. If you haven't watched them play yet, you need to. It is a defensive clinic every night, and what a coach dreams of getting out of his team, and that's them just playing so hard. For as bad as it's been for the Razorback fans in football and in basketball the last few years, I think they've landed on a great coach in Eric Musselman. In the NBA tonight, Heat at Raptors, and the Lucas Show in New Orleans, and Lakers in Denver at 8 o'clock. A lot to watch tonight. Tigers and Bradley downtown at FedEx Forum. If you're heading that way, be safe. We'll be back tomorrow at 3 o'clock for a full 3-hour edition of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. Dave will be back in here tomorrow. For Drew, for Dave, I'm Brett. Everybody have a safe, great night out tonight. We'll talk to you again tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
For over 25 years, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 has been bringing you great local sports talk. With 13 hours of local talk daily, we continue to be Memphis's local sports leader. The day starts with Keith Parker and Elliot Wender on the Press Box from 6 to 7, followed by the Peter Edmiston Experience with C.J. Hurt from 7 to 10. Sports 56 middays with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy takes you through lunch from 10 until 1. And then, John Harden brings you Johnny Radio's Happy Hour from 1 to 3. Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy drive you home every afternoon with Sports Time with Wolo and Stats from 3 till 6. And John Rennie wraps up the day with Southern Sports Report from 6 to 7 before we turn things over to Fox Sports Radio to get you through the evening. We also bring you Ole Miss sports, NFL football, and the NCAA basketball tournament. Don't miss anything. Keep your radio locked in right here on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Sundays and Mondays are special at the Butcher Shop, celebrating over 35 years of serving the Mid-South by giving a big thank you to you, their loyal customers. You can come in, relax, watch your favorite games, and enjoy hand-cut steaks along with a premium bar. Sunday and Monday nights from 5 until 8:30, you can get select entrees for $25. That includes a salad, baked potato, and bread, and you don't have to pick one, you get all 3. Some of those entrees are 10-ounce New York strip steak, slow-roasted prime rib, Atlantic salmon with dill sauce, marinated grilled chicken breast, grilled boneless pork chops, and crab stuffed shrimp. Plus, all appetizers and desserts are 20% off. Don't forget, Hamburger Friday every Friday from 11 to 2. It's the best. The Butcher Shop, always a Memphis tradition. Call 901-757-4244, 901-757-4244 for more information, or just stop in at 107 South Germantown Parkway in Cordova.
Hey, Bugsy, you hear the news about Vinny?
Yeah, it's a real shame. He owed money to the IRS and they finally caught up with him.
Just like Al Capone.
If the IRS can get to Capone, imagine what they can do to little old Vinny, huh?
Poor cat, he was on top of the world, and bada boom, bada bing.
What Vinny needs now is an offer he can't refuse.
Hey, you got a tax problem? Does the IRS claim you owe them a bunch of dough? They can get you too. So call the tax relief line now and learn if you qualify to negotiate your $10,000 plus IRS tax debt for up to a 75% savings. Don't be like Al or Vinny and get busted. Make this free call now. Learn how you may be able to pay the IRS less.
Call now. 888-789-5043. 888-789-5043, 888-789-5043, 888-789-5043.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider.